like, I gave her a lot of shit, but that's like my little sister, like especially going forward, and like to have to be the person to.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Crystal, run, quick!
What the fuck just happened?
Sorry, the power went out here.
Okay.
Oh, yes, sir. Great.
Oh, Jada, what do you mean what happened? You see, that's what happens when you leave RuPaul unmedicated. We spent hours last week talking about what happens if you steal RuPaul's medication. This is exactly what happens. Look at Crystal. What happened to Crystal? She's in a ditch. Damn. Welcome to The Chop, the show where we celebrate my lack of understanding of basic phonetics. So, as you might have noticed by the intro, I quit cigarettes last Monday. I had my last cigarette on Monday morning. And it shows. It definitely shows. And now I'm officially a vaping douchebag. Fantastic, isn't it? How fun is that? It's really fun. So, welcome to everybody in the chat. We have Dixie, Fantasia Joan, Lady Baconator, Syria Jenkins, welcome back. Diogo, who else is there? Who did I forget? Yogi's Trash, welcome to the stream. So, we've had last episode of RuPaul's Drag Race for this season, at least in the main season. We're still going to have a reunion, and we're going to have a somewhat finale. I have no idea what's going on, but I have some informed opinions. Let's call them like that. So, what happened this episode? Well, the episode was, it was okay-ish. Let's say it like this. We have this gag in the beginning with the lights going out. The girls go to the Untucked lounge and blah, 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 blah. Nothing very interesting here. Did the lights really go off like that? I don't know. It looked kind of strange, you know? When lights go off, they like snap immediately. Well, we'll see about that. So, immediately at the episode, we have Ru coming with a message from the view screen.
Sheila already done had hers.
Hey, showgirls.
Hi.
Welcome to the winner's circle. It's time to shake the dice and steal the rice.
Oh, yes. Shake the dice? It's not Santino Rice. He got the measles. He couldn't participate, you know? Who knows what happened to him? It was act, allegedly, you know? But immediately after the comeback, somehow we didn't say anything about the importance of vaccinating. Well, how nice is that? My God, Santino, you're always in our hearts. So, we have Ru coming in and announcing that for this episode, we have a mini challenge. Isn't that incredible? We have a mini challenge.
For today's mini challenge, you need to design an over-the-top, one-of-a-kind showgirl headdress that screams, Viva Drag Vegas.
Oh, great. It's advertisement again. You guessed it. This time for RuPaul's Drag Race Viva Drag Vegas. I almost said Las Vegas, but I mean, who knows the difference anymore? It's advertisement again. Well, we're going to, at the end of the episode, when we finish discussing the episode, we're going to talk about the mini challenges for this season. We have a chart. Of course, I made a chart about that. So we have our mini challenge, and Gigi is the winner. And it's no surprise, because this episode is all about celebrating Gigi. She is the winner. She is the Nextra superstar. She is the most fashionable queen, the most talented queen, the most youngest queen, the most beloved queens. She is the full package. You know what happens to a package, don't you? Anyway, the main challenge for the season is...
Now, ladies, for this week's Maxi Challenge, you'll be performing a medley of original songs from the critically acclaimed RuPaul's Drag Race Live.
Yes, it's advertisement. The main challenge for the season is advertisement again. And you might argue, well, it's advertisement about Drag Race. Yeah, but it's still technically advertisement. Who organizes that? Who get the coins? How much are the queens paid? Because I bet they're not paying that much. But, well, that's what we got. You know, we used to have a ball. We used to have queens suing. We used to have all these different dresses. We used to watch them construct strange, incredible things with the most strange materials. But for season 12, we have advertisement. Welcome to the 2020. So the queens go to rehearsal, and they go to singing rehearsal and dancing rehearsal with Jamal. Of course, singing rehearsal doesn't really mean anything anymore, because everybody is so auto-tuned that you could basically speak normally, and it's a rap verse. You know, it's not like even singing a melody. It's a rap verse, and it's auto-tuned. How much of a challenge is that? Well, but it's not a challenge. It's advertisement. That's what it is, right? It's advertisement. So we get into this rehearsal, and immediately we have to witness what happens to Crystal.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Draw on a big smile, add glitter to make it pop. Let your hair down, swing it around. Hot.
I want you to kick the energy up 50%.
Hold on, let me get
comfortable?
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's win a Tony.
Crawled up from the bottom, I made it to the top.
She's making me really uncomfortable. My heart just like sinks when I think about it.
That's what I got for you.
That's it?
Yes. Oh, that's it. Okay.
That's it?
Oh my god. Oh my god. You know that secretly happened. You know that secretly happened. Poor Crystal. She had to go with the dance routine. She had to go with let me touch your mullet. She had to go with do you want a hug, Crystal? Can I touch your crotch, Crystal? Hey, Crystal, come here. Let me see if that dress fits you right. Right? Oh my god. It was so much. It was too much. It was too much. I mean, RuPaul is there. She's in a powerful position, isn't she? It looked, I don't know, it came out so bad to me. Maybe, you know, I'm just a little bit fucked up that I see it that way, but it looked embarrassing. At least it looked embarrassing. So next up, we have a picture. We have a picture of Ru from behind the scenes, right? Yes, we have it. That's it. That's it. That's RuPaul. She's thinking about Crystal, isn't she? So after this, we go to the main challenge. The main challenge is quite good. I must say that I liked this. I liked it. Even though we had autotune, even though, you know, it was advertisement, but I must say that I liked it. And what I liked it the most is that they actually had songs. The songs were actually written. There was an actual melody. There was actual thought put inside. But of course, these are the songs from the live show. And you know, in a live show in Vegas, you cannot just put a 5-minute things together like RuPaul's song from the first episode. You know, you cannot just do that. You actually have to write something because it's a show that goes on possibly for weeks and weeks and weeks, even months. So they had to be written properly. And I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed this challenge. If I didn't have stuck in my mind, oh my god, it's advertisement, oh my god, it's all about Gigi, oh my god, it's you know, I would have enjoyed it a little bit more if they kept it a little bit more contained with this Gigi thing. It was so much. It was really so much. So we go to the critique, and we find out that Gigi is fantastic because her singing is so good. Oh, ain't that right? For fuck's sake, ain't that right? My singing is good with autotune. Just throw it 1,000 times of 1,000 hours of autotune on it, and I will sing like an opera singer. I mean, come on. Don't they have someone to think about a way to actually give plausible critiques? Because, you know, Gigi was not bad. There are a lot of things that you can pick up and say, oh, it was so good because of this, because of that. No, they pick up the singing. because there is no effort anymore. They don't even try to hide it anymore. That's how bad it has gotten. And I understand that last year they had to do Secret Drag Race, Season 12, All Stars 5, Drag Race UK. It was a lot of work. Well, hire more people because we deserve better than this. The show deserves better than this. I mean, it has a history. We've all been watching this thing for years. If you have my age, you've been watching for 10 years. We deserve better. The show deserves better. And history, looking back, deserves better. Because, like it or not, this show has had a huge impact in our culture. It's not all its merit. It also came at the right time, in the right place, whatever it is. But the point is, when people will be talk about the next sexual revolution of the 2020s, this will be considered as a media phenomenon. So we deserve better than this. For fuck's sake, train them. Have someone actually write something. Make better storylines. It doesn't have to be real. Just make me believe that it is. I mean, anyway, we have this fantastic critiques. Nobody noticed anything, right? None of you noticed anything. We have this fantastic critiques, and then we have a winner. It's incredible. We have a winner for the last episode of the season. And I don't know if you just tuned in for this season, if you're pretty young, if you're pretty old, but let me refresh your memories a little bit. Season 9. Last episode was the top 4. No winner. Season 10. Last episode was the top 4. No winner. Season 11. Last episode was the top 5. No winner. But Season 12, and we have a winner. For some reason, we have a winner. And you know what the problem is? The problem is that people will go and bother Gigi because of this. Gigi, you know, the one who is there working her ass like everybody else, because this is the opportunity of a lifetime, and getting a ton of shit because people at WoW Presents couldn't be bothered to put together a proper edit for her. This is what's going to happen. People think of this edit and they think, oh my god, Gigi is shit. Just put another victim on the list. Because you know, everybody is useful when competing on Drag Race, but everyone is expendable. And Gigi is no different. Don't be stupid. Don't let the show exploit you. This is the same exact shit that they pull with every contestant. Everybody is expendable. Everyone. And she is the best example of this. So, after this episode, Ru asks to go online and do the voting. We find out that we have a top 3, so we were wrong in our prediction when we thought that we would have had a top 4. Evidently, they don't like Jackie for some reason, but I don't think that's really the point there. I don't think that's really the point. Well, we're going to talk about that later. Let's not get things first. So, RuPaul asked people to vote for who they want to be the winner. Okay, let's going to talk about that. But first, before I forget, we have the episode chart for this season. Sorry, I lost a little bit because I misaligned whatever I wanted to present in the streaming software. So this episode chart is all about Gigi. She has 20 confessionals. She has a ton of time. She has 1 minute over everybody else. You see the difference between Jada and Jackie? Gigi has 1 minute more than them. That's how much confessional she had, because this episode was still yet all about her. And you know what makes me angry? That nobody at WoW coached her and told her, Gigi, we're going to push you. Your edit is going to be pushed. So whenever you go on social media, please act as contained as you can, as shy as you can, even if it means looking like you are really reserved. Because, you know, when you have this kind of edit, you have to counterbalance it one way or the other, or people are going to come after the queen herself. But seemingly, nobody told her this. So she's getting a ton of shit online. And as you know, I like Jada, that's who I'm actually rooting for, but in my eyes, every queen deserves to not be treated like shit from this show. Each one of them. I make no difference. When you have such a villain like World of Wonder, whatever the queens do, unless it's called Sherry Pie, it doesn't matter. It simply doesn't matter. They're all the same in my eyes. So, the confessionals are all about Gigi. For the season confessionals, here we are. We have Jackie, who is topping everybody of what we thought would be the top 4. And immediately after Gigi with no negative confessionals, Jada with about 2 minutes of negative confessionals, and Crystal with no negative confessionals. And you know what I'm proud of? I fucked a lot of prediction during this season, and you know that if you followed it, you've seen me say some huge bullshit. Let's call it how it is. But Crystal, since episode 1, when we saw that she had 0 confessional, the first prediction was she's going to be the silent assassin. And even though it's debatable if she assassined the season or not, nobody can tell me that she was not a silent assassin. Nobody would have imagined from episode 1 that Crystal would have come to the top 3 and become the fan favorite in the voting. We're going to check the voting in a second, but think about it. In episode 1, she had 2 confessionals. When everybody else had like 2-3 minutes of confessionals, Crystal had like 30 seconds. And it continued like this for 2, 3, 4 episodes. So I'm really proud of that, even though we bombed a lot of things. But you know, it was fun doing it while it lasted. So let's go to the online voting, which is the most important thing of all. So this was taken 3 hours. 3 hours after Rue announced that wanted people to vote. This is from Twitter. And look at this. Look at this. Gigi's the last one. Would you have ever imagined something like that? Gigi is the last one. I mean, I could have seen Crystal coming. I could have seen it coming because she's a very sweet person. She's reserved. She's not extremely out there. But most importantly of all, she's a weirdo. And you have to understand, we as fans, we are 90% weirdos. So we can relate to that. We can absolutely relate to that. She is not my favorite one, but she's surely my second favorite one. At least out of this top 3. And but you know, it's kind of a surprise to see a result like this. After 3 hours, she doubled whatever Gigi had. Despite the fact that Gigi had 4 wins, despite the fact that Gigi had a winner had it, despite the fact that Gigi had double her confessional time. Why is that happening? Well, you can answer that question yourself. What I can tell you is my opinion, and my opinion is that people don't like to have queens shoved down their throat. That's what people don't like. People don't like to be controlled. People don't like to be told what to think. People don't like to be told how to behave. People don't like to be told what they should like, for fuck's sake. We like what we like. Show us their talent and let us decide. But you know, they cannot really do that. They cannot really give up control. And if you notice what happened in the last seasons, since the last 2 or 3 seasons, they had 99.9% of everything, control of everything that goes in the show, including how people will perceive the contestants. So let's take a look at what changed, because I took a screenshot of this. How was it? 3 hours ago. 3 hours ago. These are the results from 3 hours ago, and nothing has changed. The proportions are still the same. If anything, the gap has gotten a little bit bigger, like a tiny bit bigger. But this is what people think, which is incredible when you think about it, because Jada was almost portrayed as a villain, even though during the whole season she was the one to speak out, she was the one to give feedback, she was the one to give advice. But you know what happens on Drag Race? If you talk too much, everything that you say can be twisted. You know, you could even go in a confessional and say, oh damn, my outfit today looked like shit. I looked like shit. My performance was horrible. And then you realize that during the edit, they put someone else's name in there and you saying, her look was shit, her runway was shit, her presenting of the book was shit. Because this is what happens when you have a heavy edited reality TV show. And this is what happened to Jada. And in spite of that, she's still higher than Gigi. So if this is not a wake-up call for the editors, not for Gigi, she has nothing to do with this. She has absolutely no control about the way she was portrayed. Okay, this is a wake-up call for the editors. And this is tangible proof that people are not having it. People are showing the middle finger and say, World of Wonder, go fuck yourself. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of seeing people being used like objects. Used, abused, pushed around, forced to cry, forced to fight, maybe not fed, told to what they should say, what they should not say, afraid to lose their career, afraid to lose their livelihood. In times like this, too. People are showing the middle finger to World of Wonder, and I am living for it. I am absolutely living. So, you know, if you've been here long enough, you know exactly what I mean, and you know exactly where I come from. Things have to change. Respect has to come back for these people who are there to entertain us. They are not there to be crucified by the media, because World of Wonder has to hide behind the fact that everything is real. Oh, really? Everything is real? Then why the hell do you take 6 months to edit it? Tell me. What the hell did we do this whole season, showing all the fucked up edit, all the doctored confessionals, all the doctor scenes to make people look like they were fighting? Come on. We deserve better. Our entertainers deserve better. So let's hope that this shit will stop, and stop very soon, even though I don't think it's going to stop. We have All Stars coming, and if you know anything about All Stars, you know what All Stars is about. All Stars is about destroying fan favorites. All Stars is about drama. And what has more drama than destroying an icon? That's VH1. Great move, VH1. So, let's go back on track. This popped up under the tweet for Team Gigi. Look at this. Look at it. There is so much wrong with this tweet. So much that is wrong with it. First of all, the person who is posting it is vilifying Silky, which you have to understand, she might not be your cup of tea. I didn't like her. I don't follow her. I don't find her interesting. But there is such a thing as not projecting on her. Like, oh, she's untalented. Oh, she is this. Oh, she is that. I mean, have even people went to live shows? I have never been to a live show. I wouldn't come out and say, oh, she's untalented. I say I didn't enjoy her on the show. But how can you call her untalented? Because this is what's implied in here. So they project this image of basically Silky is shit. And then they say, here is Gigi good, she is the same. By comparison. How nice is that? And this is, this is a reaction, a natural reaction to her edit, but the problem is it's misdirected. It's misdirected to the person. Don't do it to the person. Do it to World of Wonder. They are the ones responsible. This person went there and worked their ass off. They work their ass off. And if you think that staying home in quarantine was bad, think about it for a month. Without a phone, without contacting anybody, without internet, being controlled 24 hours a day, in fear of losing your career, pressure to do as good as you can. Try a little bit of that, and then tell me if that doesn't deserve some respect. So, this is what we got. Fantastic, isn't it? Anyway, let's take a look back at the season, okay? I made this little bit of a chart to show you something. Look at the mini challenges. Over 11 episodes, I am grouping episode 1 and episode 2, okay? Because it was a split premiere, so I'm considering that as one episode. So over 11 episodes, we had 5 mini challenges. Sorry, 6. I cannot count anymore. Isn't that great? 6 mini challenges. 3 of the 6, 50% was advertisement. Great. And 5 had no mini challenge at all. The mini challenge have disappeared. In season 12, we don't have mini challenges anymore. So why is that? Why is that? Because maybe you think, well, since they decided to sell out and only do advertisement, maybe there was nobody that was willing to pay for the advertisement. And that could be a good option. That's a reasonable thing to think. But the point is, that's not what I think it happened. It has everything to do with control, because whenever you have a mini challenge, you have to give some sort of price, don't you? And what did the price used to be? Well, some sort of power over the main challenge. If it's groups, you get to choose the groups. If it's acting, you get to choose your part. You have some sort of power giving out. And at some point, we lose 40% of our mini challenges. And whatever is left is basically decided by the production. They decide everything. There is nothing natural coming out of this anymore. And it shows. That's the problem, that it shows. It doesn't have to be 100% real, but it shows. It shouldn't show. That's the point. It shouldn't show. So, what's the other low point that you see in this chart? Look at the number of outfits that the queens had to pay for and prepare before they went on the race. I counted 30 outfits, and I have been conservative because I considered the mini challenge from episode 4, the bee thing. Those outfits were provided, and we've seen that they've been provided. But for the main challenge in episode 3, the acting challenge, they don't show us the outfit, but I consider those outfits as provided by the production. You know, that costume when you had the broccoli, the apple, and so on. I consider that one as provided outfits. They had to prepare 30 outfits. Now think back at the season. For a moment, think back. You remember all these looks that they had? They were not cheap looks. They were things that you can see that people spent days in making those costumes. Well, I'm calling that costumes, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's simply my lack of lexicon. But somebody spent hours and hours and day on each one of these dresses, and they had to prepare 30. 30. Imagine the amount of money that they spent on it. I am astounded. I am astounded because when I think about some of the most elaborate dresses, and you know that in 1 to 2 months, they couldn't have possibly made 30 dresses. Okay, you're a seamstress, you're very fast, you are Bianca Del Rio fast. How much do you take to make a dress? 2 to 3 days. Fantastic. You have to make 30. That means that for the next 2 months, you do nothing but speed sewing. So you know they are paying for this. And how the hell do you get... How much does an outfit cost? One of these hyper-elaborate outfits, how much does it cost? 1,000, 2,000? You have to pay somebody that has to buy all the materials. There is hours and hours of work. There are corrections to be made because, of course, you have to see if they fit. And if they don't fit, they have to be readjusted. Think about the ton of money. I'm getting palpitations just thinking about the amount of money that they all spent to do this. And this is all because everybody loves gagging over dresses. And you know what I think? I think that we should, it's on us, you know, it's on us. We watch this fucking shows where we talk about dresses. The pressure is up to get the best dresses. They probably get in debt to get all these dresses just because we love them so much. Why not have 10 runway looks, and that's it. That's a reasonable number. You don't have to overspend. You don't have to kill yourself sewing. You don't have to take debts, hopefully. But let's just have 10 runway outfits, as incredible as you want them to be, and then that's it. When they did the cat advertisement in episode, what was it? Episode 9. Yes, episode 9. They had to prepare that suit. They paid for it. And for what? So that World of Wonder could sell advertisement for that cat shit, whatever the shit it was. That's why. I mean, these people are people. These are the people who entertain us. These are the ones we should care about. Who gives a shit about the company that exploits them? Allegedly, because I have to say allegedly, but you know what I mean. Who gives a shit about them? Let's take care of the people. And while everybody is busy thinking about how they've been turned around with the edit and reacting to the edit and fighting with each other because of the edit, they have all been efficiently distracted into not noticing this. Exactly this. So, be responsible. From this moment on, I will prepare a message at the beginning of each of our videos saying RuPaul's Drag Race is a highly edited reality TV show based on dramatization of character. Consume it with caution. This will be in the beginning of each of our videos because somebody has to make all the other people realize, oh wait, there is something. I am missing something. What is it? I don't know, but I know that I'm missing something. That is the first thing. So, now that I went off that rant, let's move on to the challenges, shall we? So, if you take a look at this chart, we have 3 dancing and singing challenges, which it's really dancing challenges because singing doesn't matter. Singing doesn't matter because it's all autotune, so we cannot really judge who is singing. So it's basically dance challenges. We have 1 sewing challenge, 1 makeover challenge, and everything else is acting. In one form or another, it's all acting. It's either improv, it's either prepare a commercial, it's either a debate of some sort. It's all acting. Why are they focusing so much on acting? Well, you know the answer, don't you? Because that's easy to edit. You can edit it to look as anything that you want. Just fill them for 2 hours. And when you fill them for 2 hours, you know that you will always have you will always have for everybody a moment in which they excel and the moment in which they fuck up. It's just a matter of statistic. Do you honestly believe, for example, that people can play Snatch Game for 2 hours straight and be in characters for 120 minutes? Be ready to react to everybody for 120 minutes, always keep the right face for 120 minutes, being concentrated for 120. Do you honestly believe that? It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And you know what the point is? That we know these things always happened, but it's a matter of measure. It's all a matter of measure. Okay? So when they had this reality TV like 3 or 4 seasons ago, and there was some editing going around, there was some shady things going around, but still we got a good portion of realism coming from it. It was a good balance. It was a balanced balance, let's say like this, and that made it acceptable. That made suspending your disbelief a little bit easier. That's what happened. But this is exactly why this balance is not working anymore, because let's look at this. We do not get to see their abilities in making dresses. Why? Because we have 1 sewing challenge and that's it. All the dresses that they come with the show in, it's basically a celebration of who has more money to pay for having those costumes made. We never get any kind of disclaimer saying, oh, this queen made this dress. We never get it. Sometimes, once in a while, they let a queen say, oh, I made this dress. But from our perspective, we don't know that. So for all that we know, it was a game of money. Who had more money? She had more money. Oh, but she had no taste. Doesn't matter. Do you have money to pay for someone with good taste? Great. Then pay for someone with good taste. And then pay someone to make your dress. So we don't even get the craftiness of making dresses anymore. We have 1 makeover challenge, so we get to see in 8% of the episodes their ability with makeup when it comes to putting it on other people. That it's normal. We always had 1 makeover challenge. But But that's it when it comes to makeup. They're never asked to do a specific kind of makeup for something. You know, they don't have like, you remember in season 3 when they had this face of cakes, it was the episode called. They had to make dresses inspired by cakes and adjust their makeup inspired by cakes, and so we don't get that anymore. Then we have acting challenges that are basically cut to show us whatever they want us to show. We have singing challenge in which there is no singing talent because everything is auto-tuned. That's what we're getting right now. So what is this show today? What is it? That's what I am asking, because you have, please understand where I'm coming from. We spend literally 3,000 to 4,000 hours making videos for this channel because we are in love with this show. This is the place where we come from, and we are not angry about what it is right now. It's more like frustration that comes from the fact that such a great piece of media of our times was basically transformed into a money-making machine. And it's not that I am against money-making machines, but it cannot be a 99% money-making machine. That's the point, isn't it? You are selling me the illusion of getting an insight into the craftiness of the whole thing. And what I'm getting is all scripted, all edited. Who are these people? I don't know anymore. I don't know. I refrained completely from trying to attach to these queens without seeing them on social media, without seeing them on YouTube, without seeing other people actually reviewing them the proper way. So, what else did we lose this season? The library. We lost the library. I would have never believed that something like this would have happened. We lost the library. And for what? For that fab-fit fun shit, whatever it was, give the box and be shady and blah blah blah. Oh yes, take this cream, take this dildo, put some sand on it and shove it up your ass, because this is what, sorry, but I'm triggered. I am triggered. This is what we're getting. The library. I spent 3 months making that video called Murdered in the Library. And if my partner didn't stop me, I would have spent 3 more months continuing working on it. That's how much respect I have for that mini challenge. And we don't have it anymore. Well, at least we don't have this thing. I posted this in the community section to ask for your opinion on it. And I want to talk a little bit about that, because you know my opinion on it. But there are also a lot of other opinions out there that you don't get to listen to just because they don't have a channel and they don't have a microphone. But they commented on this, so I'm going to relay their opinion so that we can talk about it in a respectful way. So a lot of people commented on how much they like this section of the show. And I understand where it comes from. You know, they say like the queens get a chance to open up. It's a good thing that we get some examples of people going through some sort of trauma, some sort of difficult times, and opening up about it, sharing it. Why? Well, that's because it helps other people who might be going through the same thing. It helps them realizing that, well, you are not the only one. You are not the only one. Think about this person. She's on TV in front of millions of people, and she has the same problem as you have, which it's a huge message of empathy. This is what many people commented on this. It's a huge message of empathy and understanding and courage. And I realize where they come from with this, because I am totally sold on that. The problem is that while all these things are valid, they also have to happen somehow in an organic manner, you know? It's like, think about this. We're going out for a drink. We're going out for a drink, we sit on a bar, and the moment the drink is poured, you come to me and say, I was bullied in school. And I'm like, what the fuck? Let's just have a drink. Let's just have a talk. It's not like we're talking, we are reminiscing about things, and you say, well, you know what? I had a shit time in high school. They treated me like shit. It happens organically. And when it happens organically, sharing this sort of things feels natural, feels healing. That's the problem that many other people have. Here we have a segment in which basically people are told, okay, now share. Now give me your trauma. Dance monkey, give me your trauma. We have to make views. That's the problem with it. If it happened organically during the season, I had nothing against that. I mean, do you people even remember that Guido's mother passed away after they had a fight? And that happened organically, didn't it? And did anybody have a problem with it? So, I understand that they say this is part of the business. It is part of the business, okay? Drag Race is this kind of show. If you go on, you will have to hear something because everybody is hearing something. When you hear something, you get hair time, you get your music. I mean, we've seen the example with Jackie this season, didn't we? When she's like, and I mean no disrespect by that, but basically every episode we have Jackie saying, oh, the problem with my family, the problem with my family, the problem with my family. But that's nothing against Jackie. She is doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing. That's what the show wants. That's what the producers want. They want to take human emotions and package them in a nice package so that the viewer can consume it. The problem is that we're talking about emotions. We're not talking about reasoning. We're talking about human emotions. And when you package human emotions, people don't take it well. When they notice it, they don't take it well. This is human emotions. These are the last thing that should be packaged. And they are packaged in every form of media. But the point is, you don't have to see the package. Otherwise, you lose the whole point. You lose the whole point. It's emotions. They have to come naturally. That's the definition of emotion, something uncontrollable, that it's there. And this is how this thing feels like. So I've put my 2 cents out there. I hope I didn't misconstrue anybody that commented on that post. I suggest if you're interested, everybody was really polite, and I am thankful for that. Well, mostly very polite, but nobody was an asshole. Let's say it like this. So you can go to the community post and check the comments, because somebody was some people were very very well worded in putting out their opinion. Very patient, very with humility. You know what I mean? That's exactly what I am proud of. Go to my community section and see that nobody's insulting nobody, and everybody is putting their 2 cents out there, because that's what really is all about. I'm not here talking to you and telling you what to think. I'm here to giving you my opinion. Then you can listen to other things. You can think on yourself. You can watch other videos. You can do other things, and everything is in this big pot. And then you make your own opinion. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Who cares if we have different opinions? Let's put it all in the pot. Maybe tomorrow I will draw my conclusions and change my mind. It could happen. It always happens. That's life. That's how it goes. So we don't have this challenge. And despite the fact that I understand that many of you actually enjoyed it, I am grateful that it's not there anymore. And I kept this thing for last because I didn't want to scare you too much. But the production as the Queen's medical records, in the contract, at least the one that we have, they have to surrender their medical records. And you know what it means? It means if something happened to you, if somebody assaulted you, and you've sought naturally, you have sought medical attention for it. Not just because you were hurt, but also because if you want to press charges, you need the medical examination. That's a requirement. That's a proof that something happened. So you need medical attention if you were assaulted. And when you have to participate to the show, you have to surrender your medical records. So if something happens to you, they know. They know that something happened to you. So now do you remember, Blair? Do you remember how strange it felt when she came out like that? Do you remember how it seemingly looked like she was pushed into that? Tell me something. Tell me, but it's more. And she spoke about it. She spoke about it too outside of the race. Of course, they didn't dare. They didn't dare to try to shut her up because it would have been a huge loss of image for the show itself. But think about that. And now tell me how natural it is that she was pushed so much. So I'm not against sharing traumas, but only if you're ready, only if you really want to. Not if you're pushed because your trauma has to be packaged and sold. That's my problem with it. That's exactly what I mean when I complain about the fact that since the move to VH1, the show has lost sincerity. The production have lost sincerity. It looks like they don't want to make a show anymore. That's how it looks to me. It looks like they don't care about creating a high quality product. They have a formula that works, and they're selling that with the least amount of effort, in my opinion. So now that we have said that, and I am ranting, and you know why I'm ranting, because damn, you hear people saying, yes, you quit smoking after 2 to 3 days, you feel better. That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. I wake up in the morning and I would smoke 2 packs of cigarettes. That's how I feel. So I hope I didn't go too hard on it, but you know, somebody needs to say these things. Somebody needs to say these things. And there are people out there saying it. We're not nearly enough. Speak out. So now there is something else that I want to talk about before we go to the comments. And this is something that came to my attention from Reddit. So there is this podcast that Alaska has with Willem called Race Chasers. And they read a comment on a viewer saying, could you please stop talking about Sherry Pie and praising her during the show, because that's not respectful to the victim. In a nutshell, okay, there was more, okay. I'm giving you the short version of it, but you can Google Hot Gloss 49, you will find it. And basically, Willem's response was, "This is my show, so I do whatever I want with my show." And I was, it's not like I wasn't happy with the response. I was a little bit turned off by the response, because I understand that when you have something that it's your own, you can do whatever you want with it, as long as it's legal. There is no problem with it. But the point here is that Willem said, if none of the victims comes to me and tells me, please stop talking about Sherry Pie, I will continue talking about it. And, you know, that's where my problem is. I mean, these people have been victimized already. Can you expect them to contact everybody on the internet to ask them to please stop praising this person, stop portraying these people in a positive way, stop doing this, please? Is it realistic? And you know, you have your own show, you can do whatever you want. Yes, I completely understand that. You can also avoid showering for 2 months and then go in a grocery store. You can do that. It's not illegal. But there is the point here. The point is that the fan base, the average fan is younger than 20 years old. And you have to acknowledge that. You cannot afford to forget the fact that the average viewer is under 20 years old. In an age when everything is black and white. And for a lot of people, everything will continue to be black and white for the rest of their lives. But in general, a lot of people will start to see the shades in between the moment they reach a higher level of maturity. But the average age of these people demands that you either take a stance in one way or the other. There is no middle way with it. Either Sherry Pie is a predator or she's a talented queen. She cannot be both. We as adults can see that the two things can go together hand in hand, but the viewers cannot. The viewers cannot, and the price that you pay for is possible more victimization or celebration of a predator. And this is what's fucked up with this. So I am a fan of Willem, but I realized over time that Willems has huge problems in distancing and making a difference between the private person that she is and the public persona, the drag queen Willem, which are two different things. Because we talk about Sherry Pie in our home. Me and my partner, we discuss it. We discuss her outfit, we discussed her performance, we discuss her situation. We do it since the beginning, like we do with every queens. But I don't do it on the channel for the very simple reason. You cannot afford to push this higher, incomprehensible perspective to people who just see things in black and white, because you're going to pay a price for it. And you know what the problem is? That you are not the ones who actually pays the price. The people who pay the price are the ones who have been victimized and the one who will be possibly victim. Okay? And this is the first guy who spoke out. So if you know this and you followed what happens, and if you don't know what happens, just go on YouTube and put Sherry Pie controversy, Sherry Pie abuse, Sherry Pie whatever it is. You will have tons of videos coming out. We made one, we said what we had to take, and then we shut the fuck up for this exact reason. So I am very turned off by seeing this shit going from queens, because they should be the first one to exercise a little bit of good sense. A little bit of good sense. They have the bigger platform. They have the responsibility to do that. This is not a platform, is not your private life. A platform is a privilege. You are not forced to do some things, but you are supposed to maintain a certain level, if you know what I mean. So, I'm having a little bit of a problem with my connection. I don't know if you can keep hearing me, but YouTube is telling me something. Wait a second. Okay. Seems like I have a little bit of a poor connection. We'll see if it recovers. Now let's go on. Why is it? Why when this thing with Sherry Pie came on? What we did was decide to cut her off completely, and we paid a price for it. Because you don't know how much it costs for us in terms of time to actually edit her out from all of our materials. And from many other people, many other creators like us who took the same decision. So I cannot tell you what's right and what's wrong, but I can tell you what's appropriate and what's inappropriate when you put it in the context of the viewers. So when you look at this picture, do you see something strange with it? Because I worked a lot. Exactly, this is a picture from a video. This is the original picture that came with it. So we actually have a commitment to actually do these things, and we take responsibility for this. And this is the way we show respect to the victims of this thing. Because she's a thing, that's a thing, that's not a person, that's a thing. That's our way of showing respect. I know that a lot of people messaged them, I thought it wasn't appropriate, but this is the way we show respect for them. And I don't know if you noticed, but when we talked about Snatch Game, look at this picture. We photoshopped this to take her out. So, to see us as insignificant people who have 10 followers, and all of us, and I must commend many other creators out there who took the time, Blaze Amaze, Lee Dawson, who took the time to actually work around this as a show of respect. And then you see Willem say this kind of shit, saying I can do the fuck that I want. Well, that's not good. You should hire a publicist, Willem. Hire a fucking publicist, please. Because either you come, if you come to us as a person, make a difference between the two things. Help them people understand the difference. You as a person can do whatever the fuck you want. You as an influencer should exercise a little bit more of thought whenever you come out with these controversial opinions. So, here we go. That was all for tonight. Let's go to the comments. And I am vaping a little bit because I'm a vaping douchebag now. Ah. Comments. Oh, before we go to the comments, I forgot to tell you something. Next week, there will not be a stream. Why? Because I need a pause. And most of all, our job is basically done. You know, we do this stream to these streams to take the side of the queens, show you how things have gone, make a little bit of fun, spend a little bit of time together, talk about things and so on. But the reality of it is that I get the episode on Friday night, Saturday morning. Then Saturday I have to work all day on the stream. Then Sunday I have to work all day on the stream. Then in the night I come here. I usually spend 2 to 3 hours. And what happens is that Monday I'm completely destroyed and I take the whole day off. So it basically eats away 3 days of my week. And the point is that I have a new episode of The Shop that I promised you, that you voted for in the live stream, that has to come out, and I'm still nowhere finished. So I will take a little bit of time off and work on that and start publishing new videos. I also have a new video, a new very short videos, and I'm doing it because I simply like doing this kind of stupid shit. It's a fake trailer for The Silence of the Lambs. It will be called The Silence of the Mullet. It will come out in a couple days. I know what you think, but there is this idiotic side of me that needs to come out. It needs to come out. There is no other way. And I like this heavy editing, you know, this doing things like animation. I like it. And when I do the job, you basically see the serious part of me. You don't. The other part doesn't get to come out. So I'm going to work a little bit on that. Now, comments. Let's start. Oh, we had a lot of people. In the chat. Syria Jenkins, Melanie Connor, Jade Vasilev. I recognize the names. I recognize the name. Jade. You've been here before. Let's go from the last part of the chat, shall we? Because otherwise I will be completely lost if I go from the beginning. Unless I have some highlighted comments. And yes, I do. Oh no, it was me commenting. Oh no, I have one. Alethea, good evening. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing fine. I read your message. I hope you're doing fine, girl. Hold up. What I'm going through is nothing near whatever you're going through, but I feel for you. Believe me, I feel for you. Coaching her would have cost money. Alethea commenting on Gigi and how the editors and the producers could have helped her, and says coaching her would have cost money and they didn't have enough money allocated to do that. That's probably what she wanted to say. Oh no, allocate to have good walls. Alethea, you were talking about the wobbling walls from the latest episode. Amateur season. Crystal and Gigi having 0 negative confessionals feels about right. Yes, it also feels about white. Lady Baconator. The show needs to take responsibility for how the edits of the queens get impact on their career and how the show's fans get to see them. I completely agree with it, but they're never going to take responsibility unless we push back and ask them to and demand that to edit. Kayo Kamada, Crystal's edit was very weird. It was, but then again, Crystal is a weird person, so it kind of fit, you know? Velho765, the star of our latest videos. Your comment was so good. You're born naked and the rest is frack. I can never get to be that quick. So, great comment. Velho765 says, imagine if they do a lip sync for the crown and someone will lip sync against and actually an actual Sherry Pie. Kind of when All Stars 3 Vanessa Hudgens lip synced against a pork chop. Well, I lost a little bit, which reminds me, I lost a piece. I wanted to talk about what to expect for the final episodes. I got so triggered by the whole race chasers thing that I completely forgot about that. So, sorry, let's take a break for the comment. This is as professional as it gets. let's take a break for the comments. Let's talk a moment about that. So Jackie was not in the top 4. We only have a top 3. So next week they're going to have the reunion. They're going to do it with online calls, probably edited online calls, whatever it is. And in 2 weeks they will have the final episode. What's going to happen in the final episode? Well, since you have to understand one thing, Drag Race airs on many different networks and on many different online platforms, all synchronized for getting out at the same time. So imagine that, and imagine the possibility of postponing the live event. It cannot simply happen, at least in my opinion. It cannot simply happen. They cannot reallocate the space. So the live ending will have to air in 2 weeks, whatever it is, and that might explain the fact that Jackie didn't make it to the top 4. And many of you thought that maybe Jackie will come back. They will announce her as the 4th finalist. But here's the thing. Online, they didn't put anything out about Team Jackie. So she's completely out. They simply took the occasion for saying, okay, we cannot have a live event, so we have to do something different. So we're not going to do the lip sync, the final lip sync with the top 4 and so on. We'll have to do something different. Well, in that case, we don't need to move Jackie to the top 4. So you see that all comes together really well with the fact that they cannot postpone the whole thing and the fact that we only have a top 3 in the end. So what's going to happen in 2 weeks? Well, Gigi will be crowned if World of Wonder have confidence that they can exploit her checks for the next possibly 2 to 3 years. If they have that confidence, Gigi will not be crowned because she will be put under contract again when she comes back for All Stars. If they don't have confidence in that, they will crown somebody else. Who will it be? Will it be Jada? Will it be Crystal? It doesn't matter anymore because as you learned from this episode, losing is the new winning. And in our eyes and in the online voting, we already saw what people think who won. Okay? So, with that said, sorry that I missed that, but then again, I'm not a professional. This is not my job. So you get what you get. Don't complain. Let's go back to the comments. Anna, you are correct. I didn't expect Gigi. I didn't expect Crystal to be in the top 4. Me neither. I had a wild guess that she would last very long, but not the top 4. That was a surprise to me as well. Kayo Kamada, we stand Crystal Elizabeth method. We do. Anna, I saw in many RPDR groups I'm in that everyone was rooting for Crystal and they don't like Gigi anymore. They don't like, I would add to that, they don't like the character Gigi. Let's be smart, let's make it different. They don't like the character Gigi. Lady Baconator, I'm rooting for Jada and Crystal. I don't hate Gigi at all. I just want to see how people would react if she doesn't win. Well, a lot of people will be sad to see the same kind of edit going on for All Stars. Kayo Kamada, I guess we're just becoming tired of the bullshit with the edit. Yes we are. Emily Butler, Jada is elite. I hope she gets it. Well, we'll see. She is having a decent response from the fans. I think nowhere near what she should deserve because she actually got a very bad edit. I've seen so many times in which she should have been celebrated and instead she was villainized. It's nothing against Jada because that's part of when you have a hero edit. You have to somehow push down everybody else so that the people that you want to look better will actually look better by comparison. Lady Baconator, I never saw Jada as a villain, just someone giving feedback. Yeah, me too, but I understand how so many people would see her as a villain. Syria Jenkins, we love the Raven reference. That girl, that is iconic. Nico Tico, Testament. We stand Raven, Kayo Kamada. Amateur season, Raven for All Stars 209. Isla Macri. I never saw Jada as a villain. That is nice. That is nice. But then again, you're a viewer of this channel, which means you're smart. Of course you didn't see Jada as a villain. Melanie Louise Connor beat me to that at Syria Jenkins. Lady Baconator, to be honest, I'm bored of this show editing. The pageant queen, I'm bored of this show editing the pageant queen as the villains. Damn, I'm becoming dyslexic. Jade Vasilev, do you think they will walk back on the Gigi win because of the backlash? I really like Gigi. It's hard to make her shine in improv challenges. Why did they have so many? Well, Jade, I don't know if they will walk back on the edit, but they went 120% on Gigi's edit. They didn't hold back on anything. She checked the whole box. Make her look funny when she's not? Check. Make her look like she can actually dance when she is not doing anything special? Check. Never give her any negative confessionals? Check. Frame her only in a positive way? Check. Make everybody looks bad by comparison? Check. Give her wins even when she doesn't really deserve them? Check. She has the whole package. She has the whole package. I would see it really hard. In the end, it will come down to money. So we'll have to see about that. Gigi said on social media that she wouldn't come back for All Stars. I don't think World of Wonder is buying it. Because after you go through the 1 year of blessing in which you actually have work, and these queens will probably not have them because you know what's going on in the world, after that, a lot of people become so hungry that they will actually say, yes, I will come back for All Stars. And the first one that comes to mind is Max. Max said she would have never come back for All Stars. She said, why would I put myself in the hands of people that I do not trust? That's what she said at the very end of season 8, I believe, when they were talking about the All Stars, because All Stars 2 was going to come out. And then a couple years later, she came out and said, yes, I would do All Stars. So it's just a matter of how hungry you are. And Gigi said she would not do All Stars, and I don't think World of Wonder is buying it. If they think that they can exploit her by putting her under contract for All Stars as well, they're going to do that, and she is not going to win because of that. Jeffrey Jill, I was so bored by all the produced theatrical challenges this season. Is this what other viewers like watching? Well, I don't really like it. I like a good acting challenge when people can actually do something with it, when it's not edited, when I get to see them fuck up, when I get to see who will shine that shines for a reason. But you cannot have 70% of the challenges all acting challenges. It's drag. There is more to drag than acting. Andrew Barayas. Jada is better than Gigi because Gigi's mom dresses her and just pays for her expensive outfits, while Jada is self-made. Well, Andrew, we don't really know about that. Gigi has shown on the show that she can actually sue, which I think consider the amount of outfits. Remember, 30 outfits for this season. There was so much work that it was basically probably a compromise between the two things. She worked on her dresses, her mother probably helped, and we know that they paid someone to make other dresses because, you have very little time, and even if you are so good in sewing, you don't have the practical time to prepare 30 dresses, 30 amazing dresses. So all of them had to buy dresses, and Gigi is no different. So, a lot of people come with this thing, her mom, leave it alone. Come on, we don't know that. Velho765, I would also categorize the bees as a publicity stunt. Well, I checked into that, and it was not really a publicity stunt, but at the end, they had a sponsor giving out a prize to the winner of the challenge. Lady Baconator, the bee challenge could have been so much better and actually brought awareness about needing to help the bees. Yes, but it was not about actually helping the bees, it was about looking nice. Amateur season, fun fact, they have to bring their own food. Yes. From the contract that we have for season 8, they had to bring their own food. I don't know if that is still going on, but if it's going on, it's fucked up. Lydia Oliveira, follow my friend's Instagrams, please. Come on. Come on. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't go in other people advertisement. Sorry. This is the first comment I'm actually removing. I've never removed a comment before. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Just ask. You know, if you have good content, I will surely give it a shout out. I've done it before, but don't do this. It's disrespectful. Lisbeth Polino, I like mini challenges, at least like season 1, season 6. Queens showed how resourceful they are in a short time and were actually rewarded. Not this 5-minute long commercial of the last season. Yes, I love them too. I love them too. If you have free time, go on YouTube and watch the Chicken or What mini challenge from season 2. It was incredible. Jack Hermason, welcome back. Name one reality TV show more taxing on the participant than Drag Race. Yes, I have no idea. Think about it. Investing an average of $20,000 to $30,000 only on dresses. And then working 10, 15 hours a day for a month, not being able to go out, that depending on the kind of reality that you're participating in, that's kind of normal, especially for things like Big Brother. But yes, it's pretty demanding. And the problem is that with Drag Race, when they finish the show, if they have a really bad edit, they don't have a job anymore. Well, if you go on Big Brother, you still seemingly have your job because, you know, it doesn't really matter how people perceive you if you are an accountant, for example. Syria Jenkins. I thought they brought them baskets with chips and cookies and other snacks like that. Oh, she's talking about the food. Well, I can tell you that from season 4, who was it? Sharon was vegetarian, and they didn't have a vegetarian alternative. So she ate bread and ketchup. At least that's what leaks. Anna, wow, the queens incurred in a lot of expense. Yes, and people don't know that. Everybody likes to judge them. Nobody likes to acknowledge that. Lydia Oliveira. Mabel Oliveira is using a dog filter from Snapchat? Well, I don't know about that. Syria Jenkins, the more I look at this chart and the lack of expenses on the Queen's behalf, and the talk of expenses on the Queen's behalf, Drag Race seems more like an adult toddler and tiaras. Yes, it lost, you know, apart from that, it used to be strange. It used to be fascinated. It used to be niche. It used to be so different, mocking even. It used to be a mockery of so many different things because, you know, that's what everybody thinks of drag, at least before Drag Race. You know, it's a mockery. It's fun. It used to be so different, but it's become 99.99% a business now. That's the problem. Watch Dragula. Lady Baconator, the queens didn't even get anything for winning the mini challenges. Yeah, sometimes they got money, sometimes they got a package, sometimes they got nothing. Velho765. I like when mini challenges choose team leaders or people who choose the running ordered roles. Oh my god, I'm so bad in reading. I liked when mini challenges were used to choose team leaders or people who had to choose the running order or roles. Nowadays it's just, you won last week, you survived the lip sync last week. Yes, but then again, you have to give up power. And when you give out that much power, you also have to adjust for that. How do you adjust for that? By using more resources to actually edit around whatever is happening. It looks like they really have a script with everything in it, and no matter what happens, they're going to go that way. Kiara, I'm late again. I'm so sorry. It's no worries. Megan Jenkins, triple crowning or we riot. Do you think they have the money for that? Lady Baconator, this isn't at too many acting challenges. Yes, it was so many. Damn, it was so many. Diogo, bitches, I'm back. Welcome back. Kiara, they didn't have any diversity in the challenges this time. Yes, and a lot of these challenges, they just went out and say, oh, Queens, you have to write something. Do whatever it is that you're doing. Write it and then come back and do it. You know, like they actually had 1 week to prepare the challenges for the season, and they just, I don't know. Sergio, congratulations on quitting cigarettes. That intro was really funny. Well, let's hope that this time lasts, because you know it's pretty shaky whenever you have to quit. But the problem is that when you've been a smoker for so long, you will smoke again. One way or the other, something will happen. Something will happen in your life. You will going to be hyper stressed, and you will be around people who smokes, and then you will have that one cigarette. And when you have it, you're fucked. So let's see how long it lasts. At least I'm putting out the effort, you know. Lisbeth Polino, I wonder, how does the contract cover speaking about how the editing screwed you? If they can be sued if a queen dares to say, hey, they cherry-picked my words, that quote is out of context. Well, good thing is I have an answer for you. From the contract that we have from season 8, they have to forfeit $2 million for speaking out about the show. It's not a penalty, it's an agreement on the monetary value of the loss of image that they caused by speaking out. This was in season 8. It's been 4 years, now we are VH1 and with a fan base that grew 10-20 folds. So is it still 2 millions? I think it's 5, 6, maybe even 10. Who knows? I don't have the new contract. But that's by contract they have to pay, yes, in millions. So that, I hope that answers your question. Emily Butler. But if it's cool for Rue to pay for style and taste, I guess she's got to let her superstar. Emily. I'm bad at reading. Please. Help me out. Help me out when you write these comments, because I'm already bad, and if it's not like super perfect English, I completely lose it. Melanie Connor, season 3 felt like every challenge was a suing challenge. Yes, everybody thought the same, but I had so much respect for every queen in that season. It was so hard. It is still the longest season of Drag Race. They had to sew like 15 dresses. It was crazy. Jade Vasilev, I missed the sewing. Welcome to the club. Jeffrey Jill, and yet season 3 never bored me. That's true, but then again, when season 3 was out, everybody wanted to be on the race. There was nobody that was afraid to lose a career, afraid to appear bad, afraid to be crucified on social media because of the edit. So everybody was auditioning for season 3. So the possibility of actually having people extremely talented on was really, really high. I don't think that it's like this these days. I think a lot of queens hold back and simply do not audition. Kiara, the answer is this show is advertisement, a moneymaker for Rue and VH1, and a money stripper for the queens. Yes, and who knows how much they make after the show from the queens. You know, once Bianca came out and she joked about it, and she said, thank God they stopped making money from me. And if you doubt that for a moment, read the contract from season 8 again. It said that the queens had to participate in additional shows. Or they were obliged to participate to additional shows. Now go on YouTube and look for a mini show called Bianca's, how was it called? Really Queen. It was called Really Queen from Bianca Del Rio. It had like 6 episodes. Incidentally, if you go and read the contract, that's exactly the amount of participation that they have to have. So in my opinion, what Bianca did was the minimal amount of time that she had to do, the minimum amount of episode that she had to do for WoW, and then said, you know what, fuck you, I'm going on my own, bye-bye. Ellie B, it pisses me off when they tell poor queens you don't need money. No, you just have to be an extremely talented seamstress and enough money to buy all the materials to make the designer gown. Yes, that's exactly the point. 30 outfits. It's crazy. It's really crazy. The reality is not anybody can be on Drag Race anymore. Once in the beginning, everybody could have been on Drag Race. Everybody. It was mostly queens with experience, but also queens who really started trying out and wanted to put their talent out and wanted to try this, like Tatiana in season 2, for example. But it used to be a show for everybody. Everybody could have been on. Today, not everybody can be on. You have to have money to spend because they're not going to cast 15 people, 13 people, and then realize that they didn't have the money to make proper outfit and look like complete idiots once the show airs because the outfits are completely fucked up. They're not going to I think they have some way to check if these queens can actually spend money. They will not allow the show to air with fucked up gowns the whole season. They have an image to maintain, and so they will cast queens who can actually live up to this image. So Drag Race seemingly is not for everybody anymore. It's only for people who have the money. Lisbeth Paulino. I love sewing challenges. It showed the queens being themselves, being real, having fun in the workroom, reading for fun's sakes. Yes, I enjoy sewing challenges as well. That's a big part of the craft. I especially enjoy it when they really have strange things to do, like when they were asked to work with strange materials. I thought it was incredible when they made dresses from candies. They made dresses from hairs. It was crazy. It was crazy, and it was crazy inspiring. Let's go on. Jeffrey Jill. Shangela staring at Rasha's dress in the Interior Illusions lounge was so funny. Yeah, did you make fabric? Jade Vasilev. You can see how awkward the queen feels for having to shill a product while reading. Yes. You know, if you ever had to, or at least you tried to have a job in which you actually have to try to sell things to people, it feels super awkward. I can never do that. You know, I actually have problems in plugging my own things for the channel. And it's my thing. Imagine plugging something for somebody else. Fantasia Jones. They are looking for a certain type of queen, and that's why all the challenges were acting challenges. Yes, that's the dark side of it. Because you know who is the one with an acting background. Kiara. I always skip the "This is you" when you were 2. Oh, I always keep the part where they say "This is you" when you were 2, so now bare your soul so I can make money out of it. Well, Kiara, you know what happened? This challenge first came out in season 7. And you know, I'm not in the business of airing other people's trauma, but look at Pearl's videos, because she came out with her life story. And even though she didn't actually speak clearly about some things, you can easily understand what she's talking about. Such kind of things are on medical records. Medical records were surrendered. Hello, season 7 for the first time. Took at your younger self, Pearl. So, and this is, I'm going to keep it at this, okay? Go to Pearl's channel and look at this video. It's called something like "The Truth About My Past," talking about my past. I don't remember the title. But you can get everything that you need from that. Fantasia Jones. Rue might have thought she was going to get a second season of okay. Rue thought she would get a second season of AJ and the Queen, so maybe she needed supporting actor for this from this season. Yes, that is possible. I didn't think about that, but you know, they had such tiny roles on actually AJ and the Queen, so you know. I really think, yeah, that's a possibility, but I really think the point of acting challenges is that they're really easy to edit to make them look whatever you want them to be. That's what I think happened, because there are great queens with very good acting abilities, And she could have taken advantage of those, but she didn't. Maybe because they said no. They showed her the middle finger. For some reason, we can only speculate. Did I lose the chat again? No. No, I didn't lose it. Jeffrey Jill, Untucked hasn't been entertaining since. Well, I loved Untucked. Like, do you remember season 5 when they sculpted Serena Chacha, and they had this who was it? The transgender contestant. I cannot remember the name. Monica Beverly Hills. She comes out and says, "Who are you calling ghetto?" And they repeated that 6 times. 6 times. I counted then. Well, I don't remember. Maybe it was 5, maybe it was 7. That's how many times they repeated that. And all this staring, it was so over the top. It was so entertaining. I also like this formula because it's refreshing in a different ways. But sometimes I look at the old Untucked and think, with the Interior Illusions Lounge, the furry, but it was so stupid. It was just so stupid. And yet it was so good. Amateur season. I have dealt with a lot of online bullies who basically call me shit. Yes, I know. They call us shit as well. That's what people do online. They have a screen and they think they can go and tap, and then forget that there are actual people on the other side of the screens. So they simply don't care. They want to give their 2 cents, but they spend 0 effort into actually saying those things in a respectful manner. They go and say, "Oh, this video is shit," and then you spend thousands of hours, no, but sometimes hundreds of hours making them, and they simply come out and their feedback is, "This is shit." The hell, you didn't like it? Tell me what you didn't like. People, feedback helps. If I have 20 comments saying for a video, "Oh, this section was so boring," then chances are that I will look back, understand what didn't work, fix it, and make better content out of it. But people just don't get it. Sometimes people use the internet just because they are frustrated. They come online and say, "Oh, this is shit, blah, 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 blah." Don't think about it. Ignore them. Believe me, ignore them. You lose a little bit of feedback, but feedback given that way, you don't want it. Jade Vasilev, Sakura's "My mom's a drug addict confession." Oh, Sakura's my mom is a drug addict. Oh my god, I cannot read this. Sorry. I will have to rephrase it. When Sakura said that her mom was a drug addict, it seems so out of the blue to bring it up. Like the edit just jumped it randomly in the episode. Jade, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly, because when I saw something like that, it was so out of place that what was it? It was after the premiere. They had this moment with Sakura, and I thought, damn, this is so out of place. It's like they're closing her storylines. This is why I put her up for elimination in the following predictions. I think I tanked the first one, but I got her like on the second, when she actually went home. Exactly because of that moment. That's how much out of place it was. It felt like they were really, tying up. Oh, the storyline has to close. What does she have to say? Does she have trauma? Yes, let's put it out there, and then we eliminate her. That's why I thought she was going to go out very, very soon. That was a really easy giveaway, that she was going to get the chop. Kiara, I also think they fed Jackie with it. Like, make sure you talk about it. Yes, you know what I think about Jackie. I also think that they took her on the side and told her, "Listen, you're old. There are so many young queens. You want to stay out. Be a little bit shady. Stir the pot a little bit. Blah, 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 blah." Because there are so many instances of Jackie being shady as hell. And the edit didn't pick up on it. They didn't do it, despite the fact that they were desperate for a villain. And things like that speaks volumes to me. Like, it's something that they decided together before. So if you watch those clips from Old Stream and think, oh damn, Jackie is shady as hell, well, keep in mind that I don't think that's Jackie. That is a person trying to do the best she can to stay in the show as long as possible, thinking that she has to do this kind of thing. This is what I think happened with Jackie. Jack Armason, I missed the Hold Untucked. Well, we will always have 6 seasons. Well, no, not 6. 5 seasons of Hold Untucked. Velho765. For Crystal, Rue would have held a picture of him with short hair and asked, what would you say to your pre-Eldebarge self? That's funny. Amateur season, I missed the back rolls. Well, fun fact, when season 5 came out, a lot of people hated Alyssa. They absolutely didn't like her, me included. I was completely over the Alyssa versus Coco and blah 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 and blah blah, and then she became a meme, and she embraced it and showed another side of herself, which was really good, because Alyssa is extremely enjoyable. Melanie Connor, at amateur season, that's awful sorry you've had to go through that. That's really nice. That's really nice. You know, amateur season has a channel. She actually does things. She has this show where she creates seasons, fantastical seasons like Villains versus Congenial Queens and so on, and she is just starting to do videos. So you understand the quality is what it is. It's normal. It's normal. But you know, when you see that people are actually making the steps into becoming creators, we all know that quality must be improved, but there is no reason to call that shit, because this person is starting. Be a little bit encouraging. Be a little bit encouraging. Come on, it doesn't cost nothing. Kiara, oh my god, last episode was still so cringe with Crystal. Maybe they cut out a picture pairing soul part, because Rue went overboard with Crystal again. Well, I know that she went overboard. In my mind, she went overboard, and we're going to edit around that. Lady Baconator, the producers push the queens to say this stuff because they see it as rating gold. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Melanie Connor, I remember when pushing Pearl, but she never cracked. Much respect for Pearl. You know, I actually have a script for a video, which is a mini documentary about Pearl, when I touch upon that as well. But of course, you know, I talk, and never edit. That's my problem. I have tons of scripts, but I never go to editing. Then I lose myself. I start doing stupid things, and then there was the seasons with all these live streams and blah blah blah, and I have a ton of things, and they're not out. I'm so sorry. And there's also another problem. I cannot work to one video at a time. I would get completely crazy. I get bored of it after 2 to 3 days, and I start working at another video, and then another one, and then another one, and then at some point, you know, I have like a dozen videos in different stage of development and nothing ready to publish. But we're going to talk about that sooner or later. Pavlin Stenchev? Eureka had injury in season 9, and I felt so bad for her. I wanted her to win, and she didn't. The Eureka thing was a really funny thing, you know, because the first thing that I thought when she got injured was, what the hell is in the contract when something like this happens? Can she sue? Was she invited back because they were afraid she would sue? It was so strange, and nobody could talk about it. But that's the most interesting part for me from Eureka in season 9. Syria Jenkins, what are you talking about? Trauma could go back to the logo era as well, especially with Monica Beverly Hills when she told the judge about her transition. That is really true, Syria. That is extremely true, because let's be honest, having to submit your medical record when you participate in reality television is a staple clause in the contract. It's everywhere. Everybody has it. Why? Because it makes the producer really get an insight into who you are, what happened to you, was there trauma, what did you go through, and it's always been there. It's not a thing of Drag Race. Every reality television demands your medical record. That's normal. So yes, it was true at the time as well. And I remember when Monica came out, it felt really manipulative because, you know, why would she come out with something like that from a moment to another? Maybe she doesn't care. You know, it felt really, really pushed. But, you know, season 5 was overall an incredible season from many, many points of view. So you can easily forget them with things like this, you know. You can forget a mistake, but everything else has to work out. Jeffrey Jill, imagine production taking medical records into consideration when choosing the cast. Oh yes, yes. You think that they get the medical record after they cast? Possibility? Yes, it is. Likely? I don't think so. At all. I don't think so. I think they audition. Since there are so many people auditioning, they choose the people from whom they actually want to see a taped audition, and then they send them the contract and say, sign the contract, give us all your documents, we'll let you know. That, I think, is what's happening there. Because that's what I do. If that was my job, and my job was fucking over people to get the most out of them and create a show, that's exactly what I would do if that was my job. Lucky for me, I don't have to have such kind of jobs. Row TDQ. I don't care that they removed the picture, sub-story, baiting, but I do miss the little nugget of gay right history in Faustin challenges. Example, the Rudy Garland, you mean the Judy Garland tribute. Row, come on. Rudy Garland? My God. Go, stop the video, go to the Wikipedia page, and look who Judy Garland was. Now. And I have a lot of people commenting about the... you remember Blame It on the Edit, the video, the one that went down and then went back up? And a lot of people said, well, but Max, she's singing a song from A Star Is Born. How is that possible? That movie came out last year. Yes, it was a remake. They made 4 remakes of that. That song was originally sang by Judy Garland. Okay? Sergio, Gigi winning the last episode felt so forced. That made me feel hate for her. I know it's the editing and I will never spread hate, but I truly can't tolerate Gigi's fans right now. I can relate to that. That's why I avoid contact, so that I don't risk losing control, you know, because I don't like it as well. But I always have to remind myself, it's the editing, don't take it on the person, don't be oversensitive to it, but it becomes more and more difficult if you actually start engaging with these die-hard fans. So don't put yourself in the difficult situation. That's my advice to you. Vitriol Vic, welcome back. Crystal for the win. Gigi and Jada are both boring. Damn, Vic, you are vitriolic as usual. Don Virus, I felt like this episode they seriously made Gigi shine more than usual. They did. Amateur season. I discussed Redacted with my mom, aka the only person who likes Drag Race in my family. That was a good thing to do. That was a good thing. You know, if you can have a proper opinion from a person of age, let's see it like this, and a person of age that you can actually talk directly to, you know, not like we do like this online, you know, no, actual people, actually physically present, with whom you have a physical connection, a proper connection, not physical, emotional, that can actually spend the time to engage, because a lot of people get tired after a while of repeating the same things over and over again, you know, but a parent will never do that. Parent will always have the patience. That's part of being the parents. Vitriol Vic, she was too over the top, and I can see her in her own head. Who are you talking about? Oh, Crystal. Lady Baconator, I can understand wanting to watch the show and judge what Redacted did on the show. Oh yes, I get. I get it, what we were talking about. So, sorry, Lady Baconator, I can understand wanting to watch the show and judge what Reacted did on the show. But what Willem said was ignorant and insensitive. Yes, I will not try to go around that. Yes, it was. Dom Virus. They gave her positive confessionals and a lot of screen time. The only person who in the race has everything more than anybody. I don't know what you were talking about at the time. I think it was maybe Gigi or maybe Redacted. Lady Baconator, I can hear you fine. Oh, I know where it is. Okay. I lost the chat. I lost the chat again. Oh God, I hate YouTube's chat. Where was I? Oh, here we are. Lisbeth Paulino, will you do the chop for All Stars 5 and Canada Drag Race? That depends, girl. That depends. You know, I cannot simply come online with still images and discuss that, because it doesn't give you the impression of what's really going on. I have to make video, I have to edit them out, and it's a ton of work. It's really a ton of work. So maybe I will do it for Drag Race Canada. I don't think I will do it for All Stars, because all these queens already have a platform, people already know who they are, and it will be much more difficult for the editors to actually edit them to look like villains or do some fuckery behind the scenes. They have a little bit of power, the queens that come back for All Stars, so they don't really need well, yes, they always need something like this, but you know, it's not as imperative as for queens that nobody knows. So I don't know. We'll have to see. If I have the strength to do it, I will do it. Or maybe I will just, you know, do it like once every 3 episodes. Maybe something like that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Lady Baconator, I support your silly side. Thank you. It needs to be supported. Sasha, we stand the mullet. We do. Kayo Kamada, I'm gonna miss the streams. Don't worry. We are just going to skip this stream right now, but we'll already have a stream at the end of the month where we put the final nail in the coffin for season 12 and talk about future projects and what's going on with the channel, because I promised you to show you how are we doing with the monetization and the goals that we want to achieve, the things that we want to buy for the channel. So I want to show you how our progress with that. So we're going to have another stream. When will it be? When will it be? Sunday the 31st. But of course I will write it in the community, and I will send the notifications when the live stream will be on. So don't worry, we'll just skip a week, at least for this week. Kayo Kamada, we need a compilation of RuPaul being thirsty for Crystal's mullet. Damn, she did so much. I wished I indexed it. I wish I timestamped all of them, because it could have been so easy to make a compilation of all of it. Kiara, I'm gonna miss them too. I look forward to this chat. Thank you, that's really nice. Kayo Kamada, it feels about white. Velho, what can I say? I love to make people laugh, and I love you for making me laugh. Damn, that was a killer. Velho, that was a killer. Dixie, if you noticed, I deleted all of my comment. It's because I didn't realize that we were to save our comments until the end. This is what happens when you're consistently tardy. This also happens because I am completely unable to multitask. We will eventually have to reach a point in which I am able to look at my streaming software and decide what images come on, what videos come on. At the same time, look at my list of things that I want to talk about with connection with the streaming software, and at the same time, look at the chat and continue talking. I'm getting to it. I'm getting used to it, but I'm not a professional. So you get what you get. But at least we go through the comments later on. Diogo, bitches, I'm back. Welcome back, bitch. Syria Jenkins, live video chatting service. Kiara, do you think they will take advantage of the video lip sync to edit it the way they want in order to crown the queens they wish for? Yes, Kiara, they did already. If you if you were around for season 9, a lot of people that went to Reddit after the finale said that Peppermint completely murdered Sasha in the last lip sync, but she didn't win. And in a way, I can understand that, because what Sasha did was amazing. But still, a lot of people came out saying Peppermint definitely won. But from what we saw from the edited show in the end, it looked the other way around. You know, Peppermint lip sync looked tired and with nothing special. You know, things that we've seen already. But that's what people actually in the live audience thought. So yes, I think they do it. Of course they do it. Think about it. Think about it. Kiara, think about it. These people are under contract. World of Wonder gets a cut of whatever they make after the show for who knows how long and who knows how much. Of course, they want to push the one where they can make more money. It's about money. Diogo, can we say how beautiful is Florence Lee Mae West dress? Florence Lee, I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. Kayo, we are all weirdos. We are. Diogo Moreo, we stand Florence D. Lee in this house and in my... I don't know who Florence D. Lee is. Am I a bad person? Kayo Kamada, we're going to have 5 seasons per year. We will be soon on season 100. Maybe they will crown Gigi and have Crystal for future All-Stars so she can slay and win. We'll see. We'll see about that. I still, I'm sorry, I'm so dispassionate about this, but from my perspective, it's all about money, and everything will come down to that. Dixie, I finally showed up on time, learned the rules, and now a break. LOL. Diogo, Jada in the next All Stars, just like her sister Shea Coulee. Yes, we're going to have Shea Coulee Stars 5 soon. I didn't like Shea in her season. But she grew on me so much. She grew on me so much. She has such a pair of balls. She's going to eat everyone. In All Stars 5, she's going to eat everyone. Dixie, you don't know what I think. I think you're marvelous, and I love that side of you. Thank you. Diogo, Jada. Oh dear God, I have to go to sleep. It's so iconic. She won season 12, Miss Congeniality of season 12 and All Star 7. Yes, she is. Ellie B. RuPaul could save 10 times the amount of bees if he just stopped fracking so much. Kayo Kamada. This would be a good year for a double crowning with Crystal and Jada. Oh yes, it would be. Jade, I thought RuPaul this season was going to be a big theme around voting and patriotism based on the ads, but that never seemed to happen. Yeah, that's kind of true. I mean, they tried to do something with it, with the political challenges, so on, but, it looked like they really did the bare minimum. Jeffrey Jill, it's terrible that the queens aren't able to work and get paid immediately to pay off investments like past seasons. And then some fans are pissed at them for promoting their Vimos and cash apps. Yes, especially Jeffrey, especially for the queens of season 12. Okay, so I respect all of them, but think about this for a moment. People like Bianca Del Rio, people like Trixie Mattel, people like Katya, they are so famous. They made so much money. They don't need to be supported in this moment. It's nice if you can support them, but it's not like they cannot put food on their tables if they don't. But the girls from season 12, they absolutely need it, because chances are they are still in debt for what they spent for 30 dresses. They really need our support. They really need it. So I have nothing against people who pay $150 for a Katya on Cameo. It's your money, you can do whatever you want. But please, think for a moment that some of these queens not only don't have the actual coins, but they're also in debt at the same time. Kayo Kamada, look how much money the early gone girls waste on outfits. Let's hope they can reuse them. But yes, that's exactly, you made a great point there. A lot of people spend a lot of money only to not show anything. Fantasia Jones, honestly, I'm glad that the queens are doing things online, because I would have never gotten to see most of them live due to my working schedule. Yes, it's nice that they do, and it's nice that they can get to be supported in this, you know. I have to be honest, what I don't like is when queens who don't really need this push this so much. That I don't like, because it really outshines people who really need it. You know, people who aren't making any money. I know that nobody likes Dahlia, but think about Dahlia, for example. She went home first, she spent a ton of money on their outfits. Yeah, she has a terrible attitude, whatever it is, but girl, at the end of the month, she has to eat as well. So, you know. And I'm not just talking about everybody from season 12 as the same problem. So I know that, you know, people don't like to hear this thing, but we have to be realistic. Diogo, some girls spend more money on drag race than our life. Well, except for the ones who have student debts. Let's go on. Melanie Cruz, Pearl getting a trip to New York. Yes, that was incredible. Kiara, it really would be more organic if they would let the queens do their thing and spend money to edit afterwards rather than spend all their money on Nicki Minaj and Pot. Oh, you bitch. Yeah, it looked like it really looked like they overspent for the premieres and then left nothing, absolutely nothing for the rest of the show. It was so strange. I would like to see the numbers. I will check them out, you know, for the audience to see the dropout during the season, because I think there was a huge dropout after episode 4 or 5. They had this very big premiere, and then they had Rise of the Villain and Victims. Then Villain and Victims went out, and everything went radio silent from every perspective. So I will check those things out, bring them to the streams in a couple weeks. Kao Kamada, still on Sasha. She won meat when she is a vegan. Yes, what was it, Hamburger Mary? Damn. Diogo, I like Grey's Anatomy. Yes, that looked like it was the only acting challenge where they actually put effort. They actually put effort in it. Kiara, allegedly, always allegedly. Amateur season. If I went on Drag Race, I would make a list of all my confessionals. Girl, you can never go on Drag Race because RuPaul is making Drag Race and she will never allow women to come on Drag Race and compete in a regular season. Let's be honest. Brutally honest. Come on, I'm kidding. I hope things will change. By the time you will be old enough to compete, I hope things will change. Alethea, the problem with getting a new contract is people would necessarily break said contract. Yes, that's true, but if you don't know who these people are, how can you punish them? Wink, wink. Kayo Kamada, if I went on Drag Race, I would have big nails and every day I would break one of them and then I would have my hands up a lot. Diogo, the cast of the Hurley season was incredible. Yes, looking back right now, it is. It was. Kayo Kamada, because the fracking isn't good enough. Damn. Diogo, Mimiam First is underrated. Yes, and you know what else is underrated? The way she allegedly abused her position to get virtual sexual favors. Melanie Connor, Bianca's really queen is really funny. Yes, but you see the point? There are only like 5 or 6 episodes. Chiara, can you imagine how much money they are making out of Trixie and Katya's Hun? They are making a ton of money. Good thing is that Trixie and Katya, after the initial period, they had leverage. They actually had leverage. So they could have said, you know what? We are doing a similar show with a different name and blah, blah, blah in our own channel and you can fuck off. So pay us. And seemingly, they paid them. But don't think that's normal. They are the exception. They are the exception. Don Virus, if I went on Drag Race, I would be Black China. Dixie, I heard the original list was that they were asked to bring 20 things and now they are asked to bring 50. You're talking about outfits. That is so disgraceful. Amateur season, we love Tatiana in this house. Yes. Yes. I loved many different queens, but for some reason, Tatiana stick with me. Over the years, over all those years, she's the one that sticked with me the most. When I realized that she was coming back for All Star 2, I was so happy. You cannot believe it. I was so happy. I actually asked my boyfriend, what's your favorite queen? And he said, Jinx Monsoon. And yours? And I said, Tatiana. And he said, who? That's, that's how people receive Tatiana, how they remembered her before All Stars 2. But good for her, she got a great career out of it. Dixie, I'm sorry to be unkind, but they definitely slipped up with the Silky last season. Yes, they did. They did. But Silky was an easy pick for a villain, for a season-long villain, and they just ran with it. What else? Diogo, a house full of monsters made she scream, and she gave it right. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, there was an Halloween reference. Okay, sorry, I lost that. Lady Baconator, I have not seen AJ and the Queen. Is it any good? I don't know, because I watched like 20 minutes of it. And then I thought, yes, I'm going to watch it. And then I didn't. It's because Ru can dance. She cannot. But think about RuPaul. AJ and the Queen got cancelled. The RuPaul show got cancelled. People only want her for Drag Race. I mean... Diogo, wait, I forgot the words. Chiara. Okay, I will. I just felt like I'm really supposed to watch this. It feels super personal and awkward to me, and the end comments of the judges feel so fake and forced. Oh, you're talking about the Give Me Your Trauma mini challenge. Kaio Kamada, AJ and the Queen were just every Drag Race girl making cameos and then RuPaul lip syncing very badly. Oh, yes. I'm sorry, but until she's going to apologize for fracking, I'm going to make fun of her. And I'm going to support this kind of comments. So, they're good-hearted. So, amateur season, I have to go. Great stream. Thank you for coming. See you next time. Fantasia Jones, what's up with the mice on the screensaver? Fantasia, these are... if you watch the video Midnight on the Library, that was dedicated to these two mice. They are Penny and Bianca. They are the mice that when I moved in with my partner years ago, we had a really, really hard time. It was difficult. We were not used to living together. You know the problems when you move in with someone. And at some point we got these two mice. And we grew really attached to them. And at some point they passed. So we celebrated them. We dedicated our logo to them. So I mostly did it for my partner because he reacted really, really emotionally when they finally passed. So I made this for him. Now they are part of our logo. They live on with the logo, and there they are. Melanie Lewis Connor, bye. Amateur season. Ellie B, Sakura was triggered by rehearsal. It wasn't out of the blue. Or was it? Well, I don't remember. Kao Kamada, is it just me? Is it just me, or is it a cow next to videos? No, that's a mouse. That's Bianca. Oh, guys, come on, zoom in. Oh no, you cannot zoom in. Sorry. That's Bianca. That's not she. Yeah, she was. She was. That were her colors. She had this wonderful brown spot on the belly. She was so cute. So human. My God, she would follow me around, waiting to get her a treat. She was incredible. Luis Felipe. A lot of silly storylines were made up to fill Sherry's confessionals all. Yeah, you noticed that too? They had to fill the time somehow, and they couldn't just re-edit the season. They just had to put something there. Luis Felipe, it is a rat / cow. Kao Kamada, we stand amateur season. We do. In this channel, we do. That's why she's moderating. Valho765. No, that's a giraffe, girl. Come on. Peter Cord, I want them to go to Crown Crystal Method. Crystal Method. Peter. At this point, I must be honest. I don't really care who they crown. It is how it is. The season went the way they went. I hope the girls didn't get it too harsh and they get to build a proper career out of it. Whatever happens, happens. Come on. Peter Cord, I love all the girls, but she's my favorite, and there's nothing wrong with it. Everybody has someone that they root for. Alethea, I love Tammy Brown. She never took Rue's shit. Yes, my God, Tammy was incredible and crazy. She was batshit crazy. And that's Tammy. That's Tammy. But it was incredible when she called her out in the reunion, and that was season 1. That was season 1. Can you imagine somebody watching Drag Race for the first time and seeing that? Luis Felipe, I think he could be a cow or a giraffe. Alethea, Eureka likely can't sue because most have to sign stuff, releasing the producers from any responsibility except if there is criminal negligence. But that is the point, how you define that. Because they were asked to do this challenge, so it's not something in which they engaged voluntarily. It's something that they were asked and they were supposed to do. So it really depends on the wording on the contract. But I see what you mean by that, because based on the kind of wording, yeah, she would have been fucked. But still, she had the social media card, saying things like, well, I participated and I tried to do what you told me to do, and then I broke my knee because of that, so you should do something about it. Lady Baconator, season 5 was overall a great season, even though I was so sick of the Alisa and Coco drama when I watched it. Yes, me too. Wait a moment, please. The chat bumped again. Damn. Okay, here we are. Luis Felipe, hi, bitch. Hey, bitch. Welcome back. Dixie, that is happening to me too. Kaio Kamada, oh, I know where it is. 5 seconds later. Oh, the chat skipped. Oh, yes. It always skips. The level of unprofessionalism, far too much. Luis Felipe, yes, I'm not a professional. I'm an amateur. Sasha, oh my God, the last stream is gonna be on my birthday. I'm so happy about it. Well, I'm happy. I'm happy that you're happy. I'm happy that you get entertained, guys. I'm really happy about it because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of uncomfortability on my side, especially in the beginning. So I really, when you come here and say I'm entertained, I'm happy. I'm happy. I don't give a shit if we make 50 cents out of it. I'm happy anyway. Kao Kamada, everything that we see on this show is edited and manipulated. Yes, like 99%. Chiara, sorry, that was a stupid question. For a moment my childish innocent side came back from the past and took over. Of course they will edit till the end for the god money. They will. Diogo, I really want to see my girl Peppermint in All Stars. Well, you know what they do. You had surgery, you're not allowed on the show on anymore. Luis Felipe, the live is delayed. Yes, I had a connection problems like half an hour ago, and it told me that it was delayed. But then again, this YouTube interface is so bad that I don't really understand what's going on. I don't really understand it. But yes, it's normally delayed, like 15 seconds. It's mostly a safety precaution in case there are connection problems and so on. There are, 15 seconds to to actually have everything flowing smoothly from the viewer side. So it's always delayed. But it shouldn't be. I have it set for no less than 15 to 20 seconds at most. Unfortunately, you cannot tell them the delay. It's YouTube, so it basically tells us super slow, middle, very fast. It is how it is. Sergio, Crystal said that all her looks were clothes that she already had, and only spent money on 2 looks that she made. Yes, but the advantage with Crystal is that that's her style of drag. It's weird, it's strange, it's fun. And when that's your style of drag, you can basically sell everything. You don't really have to make something extremely specific, extremely polished, and so on, because that's not the point of your drag. The point is sending a weird message, a different message. But for queens like Gigi, for example, that rely on the polish, that rely on the costuming, that rely on the style, you have to spend money for things like that. Dixie, I believe Florence is the politician that came and spoke with the girls during Untucked. Or she may be an ally or a supporter. I'm not sure. I'll have to visit Wikipedia. No, I know what you mean. That woman was Ocasio-Cortez. She was not called Florence. She was called, I think, Alexandria. Could be. Diogo, Florence D. Lee is the Scary Bye designer. Oh, now I get it. Luis Felipe, I missed the whole season when business questions were just important. Where business questions were just as important as talent to crown the winner. Dixie, how much of a gag would it be if Crystal won and the entire thing was a setup? They certainly made it look like Brooklyn was going to win last season. Yes, they did. But then again, there is, Brooklyn has this kind of, she doesn't really have an appeal. She's an adult queen. She's very posed. She's very reasonable. She doesn't really appeal these younger viewers who are all about drama and impress him and be funny and be this and be that. They don't really have developed something for pure professionals, like Miss Fame, for example. So I understand that she didn't have an appeal, but think about it this way: she's a permanent judge on RuPaul's Drag Race Canada, so in the end it turned out good for her. Carlos Salasiera, anyone has seen RuPaul's Drag Race UK? I still haven't, but I'm afraid I don't like the format. I enjoyed it more than season 12. So yes, watch it. If you can digest what I do with these live streams, then we are on the same page. You will enjoy it much more than season 12. Kayo Kamada, the thing about the early out queens is that in a lot of seasons, the first challenge is a sewing challenge, so they can't show nothing. Yes, that's very true. Carlos, I'm so excited for Drag Race Canada with Brooklyn Heights. Yes, I was just talking about that. Lady Baconator, I think that some of the budget for season 12 went into Celebrity Drag Race. That's possible, but well, you never know. It's a possibility. Kyle Kamada, I'm already Team Scarlet. Well, Scarlet isn't an All-Stars 5, is she? I mean, I would know because I liked her so much in her season. She was a complete bitch and she was owning it. That's the point. You can be whoever you want, but just own it. You don't have to be a sweetheart at all costs. Yannick Garber, I missed the main show. We'll watch tomorrow. Can you see a clear story arc with Gigi? She came as a polished fashion queen, beloved by the judges and left as dead. What is her character arc? She doesn't have one. That's the point. That's a hero headed. That's a hero headed. That's why you don't see hero headeds anymore in reality TV. Because they bring absolutely zero level or what's the word I'm looking for? Evolving? You know, there is no evolving storylines unless you can pair the hero with a villain and work with it for the whole season. You don't have a story arc with a hero. And as a result, it feels boring. It feels unrealistic. It feels inhuman in a way. You know what I mean? Dixie, don't get it started again, you guys, with the fracking. Don't worry, I got over it. I got it out of my system. Alethea, I can imagine that they slightly changed the contract to make it easy to retrograde find any leaks. Well, in a way, they've been very laxed. You know, a lot of queens have spoke out, but then again, they never came out with things that really fucked with World of Wonder. You know, they were mostly talking about small things like, oh, my performance wasn't that bad because I did something else, and they didn't really come out with heavy things, you know, like saying things like, and I'm making an example, I had a medical emergency and nobody was coming. And by contract, I was obligated to go with their doctors and I wasn't paid and nobody did a shit, you know, things like that. Like critical things. Carlos, AJ and the Queen is kind of cool. Fun to watch if you don't have anything else to watch, but it's not a great series. RuPaul's acting is so unnatural. She is. She's not an actor. She's not an actor. Kiara, the only part I liked of AJ and the Queens were the cameos from other queens. Laura Facey Face. Agree, Carlos. My favorite part was seeing the Drag Race Queens. Yannick Garber. Also, does the redemption story arc ever wins? In my experience, never. The redemption arc never wins. The underdog arc can win. But you also have to understand one thing. These story arcs, they are a staple of reality television, and you never really see them anymore. At least not in their true form. What you see is some interpretation of this kind of story arcs, where they usually overlap with each other. So, for example, you have, when you think about season 4, for example, Sharon Needles was an underdog, but she was also a hero. You know, you have this two overlapping thing. This season, Heidi, she was an underdog, but she also had a redemption edit. So you see, the lines are kind of blurred because reality TV is evolving like everything else. So they're trying to mix up a little bit. And the positive things is that by mixing storylines a little bit, you have the flexibility to account more for the personality of the people that are actually competing on the show. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. Isabel Gilmet, I'm not excited for the finale. Whoever wins is gonna get monumental 8 for little to no reason. I can see that coming. I hope it won't happen, but I completely see that coming. You know, like what happened with Gigi on her thread. It's going to be normal. But then again, when the show is actually fostering this kind of reactions for drama, for clicks, for whatever it is, what do you expect? Especially when they are so young. Kyle Kamada, get those nuts away from my face. I lost the chat again. I'm sorry. Damn. Where was I? Okay, here we are. Carlos, Latrice was so good. I also liked Monique Hart. I was underwhelmed from All Stars 3. But then again, Latrice is not the youngest. Latrice is not the youngest. She has a fixed style that is her style, and that doesn't really fit with Drag Race anymore. Her strongest suit was personality, and unfortunately, in All Stars 4, the show was all about villainizing her, so they got the worst of her. I didn't enjoy watching her on All Stars 4. It's nothing against her, but it was really painful what the final product was. So when she got out of the race, I was happy about it. Because, and we joked about it, we made a video about it, but the reality is that they did her so dirty. I understand that maybe after years and years and years of being so idolized, you lost control a little bit. That's human. That's human. That's only human. But they took it and they ran with it, and it was not fun to watch at all. Kao Kamada, brown cow stunning. Dixie, actually my original problem with Gigi was the constant reminder her mother had made all her costumes. And I knew she hadn't been charged. She hadn't been charged? This would turn me off originally. This was her mistake. Yeah, but in a way, I mean, did you see any other queens come out and say for every episode, oh, this designer made this for me? At least she came out and say, yes, I was helped in doing this. This is not all from me. I received help. Carlos, neither one of them deserves more than the other. And the out-of-episode social media will be too influential on the result. Oh, you're talking about possible winners. Lady Baconator, I wish drag kings could compete on Drag Race. Damn, it's getting late. I cannot read anymore. Carlos, she just happens to have a seamstress mother. That doesn't make Gigi more or less deserving. Yes. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. You exactly made the point. The fact that she may or may not have helped with outfit from her mother or somebody else, it's irrelevant because everybody else said. Luis Felipe, last episode someone finally pointed out the fact that Gigi's looks are kinda costumey. Unfortunately, it wasn't a judge. Well, there's nothing wrong with being costumey. Just don't call it fashion, because fashion people don't like to be their heart called a costume for some reason. Dixie, that really was hilarious. Sasha winning hamburgers. Poor Sasha. Kiara, Brooklyn actually appealed to me. I was happy to see someone actually being posed, and I hated how Rue enjoyed to bash on her during the reunion to crack the opinion people might have had of her. Well, do you remember what Rue did with the Vixen? It was so bad and so transparent. It was so transparent. I mean, they're not even trying anymore at this point, are they? Dixie, yes, Mimi does not deserve our sympathies at all. Oh, no, she doesn't. And I lost the chat again. Oh, I hate YouTube. I hate YouTube. Can't they just have a normal chat that I can just scroll over it without trying to auto-scroll for me? Damn. Okay, here we go. Lady Baconator, I think that Redacted was either meant to be the main villain and then lose to Gigi in the end, or the main hero. that was built into the feed, Gigi, in the end. These are all viable options. I can see that, but it looks like we'll never know. It would be interesting. I admit that. If I had the chance to actually see the unedited season, I would actually watch it. I wouldn't make a video of it, but since the stream is kind of an intimate thing, it's just the a couple dozens of us. Yes, I would definitely do a stream and talk about it and analyze how they did it, just because it's interesting from a purely editing perspective. I would do that. Dixie, Tatiana is stuck with me, and I'm very disappointed that they have been showing her in the most terrible of lights. Well, they fucked her over in All Stars 2, but that was also one of the main appeals after All Stars 2, that people got to see her as a victim, a talented queen who was showing a ton of growth, and she was cut short, and people empathized with that, and that's what really, in my opinion, propelled her at the time. So I'm happy that in the end she got to earn a proper living while doing this because of All Stars 2. She is one of the few people who really won at that game called RuPaul's Drag Race. Lady Baconator, hero edits don't go through character development, which is what a character need. Yes, that's the point of a hero edit. Margaret McCall, welcome. Gigi cannot act spontaneously in any situation. She has to have her act mapped out in advance for her to do well. Fans would like her if she could be more off the cuff with her interactions. I'm sorry. It's 1:20 in the morning, and I'm getting fucked up when reading. But I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. We talked about it last stream. It's from my perspective, it's a part of the fact that she has still maturing to do. She's still very young. And when you are that young, you still, yes, you have a personality, but it's not really that adult you personality that starts really coming out in your late 20s. So she's still doing a lot of growing up, and unfortunately when people have to do a lot of growing up, what usually happens is that instead of showing who they are with all the evolving that is going on, they just put a facade on top of it and they run with it. It's a very common way, let's say like this, of defending something that it's still changing and evolving. It's a defense mechanism. I completely understand it and completely see through it. So I don't point a finger to her for that, but I hope for her that she will grow out of it. She absolutely have to. And chat fucked up again. Thank you, chat. Damn, it's because I'm getting closer to the real-time chat that it keeps skipping. Okay. Dixie, my thought on holding up the photos are, I had a very tough as a little one. If someone were to ask me what I had to say to her and I wasn't prepared, I would completely shut down out of fear. I'm sorry. I'm not connecting anymore. Oh, you're talking about the give me your trauma segment of the video. Are you? I don't know. I lost it. I'm sorry. Margaret McCall, All-Star 4 was too soon after season 10. They need to give some of the shows a break so fans will still be interested in the queens. Overexposure can be just as bad or worse than underexposure. I completely agree with that. But you also have to keep something in account. Some queens, they just have to run with it. if they come very successful after the season, it's in their best interest to keep them under contract as long as possible. And when you bring them back for All-Stars immediately, they just have much less leverage. Think about it, for example. Let's say that they filmed season 12 last year, okay? So now season 12 came out. And they realized that Heidi was very, very well received. But they realize it right now in May. So what do? The contract probably goes on for 18 months. And let's say that they would film All Stars 6 in June. So what do? They put Heidi immediately under contract again, because she hasn't fully realized her full potential outside of the race. She just didn't have time for that, because between May and June it's 3 months. It's not enough to completely explode and have more leverage with your contract. So it's in their best interest to actually put them immediately under contract, immediately, before they realize how strong of an impact they really have, and they have much more leverage on the contract, because they can say, you know what, I don't need All Stars. You want me to participate? Take out that clause about giving, I don't know, I'm making up a number, 40% of my income from YouTube. Take out that clause about getting 30% of whatever I get from my gigs. Take it out, or I won't come. So you see, there is a monetary point. I'm sorry, I'm dispassionate about it, but nobody is talking about this kind of things. So I know it's sad to think about it, but we should also think about it. Dixie, I absolutely love having your little rat family on your logo. I consider them our mascots in loving memories. Yes, that's the point, That's the point. Sometimes I find my my partner looking. I have all the videos on my laptop. So if he wants to rewatch something, he has to go on YouTube. And I find him rewatching the In Memoriam for them, When I showed him the first time, I had him cry. He really actually cried. That's, it's nice. It's nice. I want them to be there. I don't care if people I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it, and I don't care. As long as I know what's going on, I'm happy with it. Chiara, the 8 is so incongruous for RuPaul's Drag Race. That's supposed to promote acceptance and diversity. It surprises me it's happening so much in the community, coming from people saying they are open-minded. Chiara, you just opened a Pandora's vase. And unfortunately for you, it's 1:30 in the morning here. So I don't have time to properly introduce it. But let's say the uncomfortable thing first, okay? It's a scientific evidence that people will relate based on the kind of environment in which they grew up. So if all you learned all your life was, for example, insulting people to get their attention, chances are that 99% of the time when you grow as an adult, your first instinct will be to insult someone if you want to get their attention. That there's no going around it. That we like talking about the fact that, if you had it so bad, then you understand what's going on and you are a more understanding person. Yes, that's a nice thing to think. The pragmatic reality, unfortunately, is a lot worse. If you have been bullied your whole life, chances are, when you grow up, the first thing you will see is bullying. And the first thing that comes to your mind when relating will be bullying. That's sad to say, but that's how people work. You are what you are exposed to, unfortunately, and things are a lot more subtle than you think. Bullying is not just about insulting someone. It's a way you relate to them when they're speaking, for example. It's the way you look at them. It's the way you decide to understand their message or misconstrue their message. There's a lot going around that kind of behavior. A lot going around it. It's not necessarily insults like we see on the internet. And unfortunately, if you were exposed to this, you will bring that in your adulthood. You will have to work really, really, really hard to discourage this kind of things. I'm not surprised that this is what we saw, because as queer people, we are exposed to this and we internalize this. And unfortunately, it sticks with us. And it shows. It shows its ugly face. I know. It's not nice to say it, but we have to say this. We have to say it. We cannot ignore matters of facts. We can work around the way we feel. We can discuss about things that we don't know, put out their opinions and compares and so on. But when you have matters of facts, you cannot just go around it. Dixie, I told you we had 12 and loved every single one of them. And because they passed so quickly and all nearly at the same time, it was very hard. So I definitely understand why you would dedicate your logo to them. Yes, unfortunately, they last really a short time. They last really a short time. They're not for everybody. They're not for everybody. Right now, Marble, she is 1.5. She's getting vitamins now. Her fur is getting really better. But 1.5 old for a mouse is like 60, 70 years old for a person. It's like a long time. So, of course, she's an old lady and she's getting her medication, in the form of vitamins. Lady Baconator, I didn't see the reunion with Vixen. What happened? Well, basically, RuPaul tried to, what it looked to me like baiting her, have her fighting, And when she said, oh, this is what is going on, then I'm leaving. So she left the reunion. She went away in midway. She just stood up and said, you know what, I'm not having it, goodbye. And then RuPaul came out with this huge monologue about, oh no, but it's about loving herself and you cannot just walk away and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, 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 which was complete bullshit. Because the message to anybody out there is that if you are in an environment in which people are trying to push you into behaving in a way that you're not comfortable with, then going away, leaving, is the right decision for you. Take out yourself of the uncomfortable situation, then we can talk about it. But first take yourself out. And she gave basically the opposite message. So I was like, how fucked up is that? How fucked up is that? It was so bad. It was so bad. And you know how the Vixen is. You might have seen her on social media. She snaps like this in a moment. She snaps at everything. She is how she is. She is how she is. But I want you to think about the kind of life she probably had to become an idiot like this. So you don't have to like her. You don't have to like her. I don't like her. Okay, but I understand her. And what was done during the reunion was really fucked up. It was really fucked up. That's how it is. Yannick Garber. I don't understand their villain choices. Valentina was clearly disliked by the other queens. Many went on to talk about the terrible behavior that didn't make it on screen. But she wasn't the villain. Yes, but Valentina was young and talented. And they knew she would make a killing with audiences. So you cannot portray somebody like that as a villain. She would have been perfect. I agree with you. But you also have to make that consideration. She was going to be a fan favorite, and they knew it. They knew it before they cast her. I mean, look at her. It's there are not many Valentinas out there. Let's say it like this. Come on, everybody, stop dissing Bianca. Don't worry. I don't consider it an offense. She was a little cow, Alethea. Well, as they say, class solidarity over everything else. As soon as people get rich, in the 95% percentile, I think you mean, their character degrades and changes. A fake. There's studies about it. Yes, it's also a matter of common sense, not common sense, sorry. Social knowledge, common knowledge. Is it say common knowledge? But yes, when you start having that kind of wealth, you basically live another kind of life, and living another kind of life basically changes you in many ways, especially in a human way. But I understand why it happens. But it's not cute to see, especially when it comes from a person that you consider as having a lot of humility, you know. It's strange, at least. It's really strange. But I have no doubt that if tomorrow I would become a millionaire and start living life as a millionaire, I would probably not care about many different things. And all those little things are the ones that generate the thoughts that ultimately create the person that I am. I would simply become slowly but surely become somebody else. Not in the core, but at least as much on the surface to become clear whenever I interact with somebody else. Dixie, this will be my last rat comments. Those sweet little creatures has the same ability to show love and devotion as dog does. Sometimes even more because they are smarter. Officially. Last rat comment. Well, they are unusual animals to have. But yes, they have this people might find strange, but rats are really they are basically dogs, but they are rodents. They have the same they on the intelligence scale they're basically the same, with the only difference that rats have the advantage of being able to manipulate things with their hands. So they can use instruments and do other things that for dogs do it as well, but not at the same level as rats do. Not at the same level. So of course they're really smart. They're really smart animals. They are good companions. They are strange companions. A lot of people don't know that. They make the connection and think, "Oh my God, rats! Ugh, dirty!" Ugh. But you know, every animal is dirty if you take it from the street. That's just the reality of it. But you know, a lot of people are making steps into understanding these tiny little animals and start choosing them as companions. And ultimately, the most important thing is if you have to have a pet companion, it's great to have a choice of different animals that you can have and keep as companions. You know, because some, for example, I could never have a dog anymore. I love them, they're great, but I don't simply have the patience anymore to take them out 4 to 5 times a day, the money to pay for their veterinary bills, and you have to brush them every day, every 2 to 3 months, you have to wash them. It's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. I'm not ready for a dog. Mouse is different. You know, I have this huge cage that I can clean every 3 weeks, and I give them their food. If I want to ignore them for a couple of days, I can ignore them. It's different, you know, I have more free time. Lady Baconator. Fifi's villain edit in All Stars 2 was cringy. Instead of coming off as bitch, she just seemed to be blunt and upfront with the other queens. She was baited into a villain edit for All Stars 2, unfortunately. Yannick Garber, whereas Latrice or Bibi or Kennedy in her season or Widow didn't do anything too shady, but I still got low-key villain edit. Why is that? Because they're black. I'm sorry, it's almost 2 in the morning. I have no filters anymore. Lady Baconator, why does the show seem to vilify pageant queens? For some reason, I think this has something to go. I think it's kind of a social thing, because pageant queens are look queens that you judge on the way that they look, and being unfairly judged by the way that you look. It's something that resonates really easily with everybody. So they look like the villainous queens, the one that are all about looks and will judge everybody about looks. So I think it's a low way of sending out this this thing of, yes, they are the villain. It's easy to sell for some reason. I think it's cultural. It must be cultural. Dixie, I wish I could feel the same way that you do, but I really need to see Jada crowned. It has been so long since I've seen a queen crowned that I was really excited about. I just need her to be my winner. It would be nice, but you know, as long as they have a career. They entertained me. I thank them for being on the show, working their ass off, all for my entertainment. I hope I managed to give a little bit back. And it doesn't matter anymore. All Stars will be out in 2 weeks. Season 2 is old stuff. Kayo, I don't know if it's just me or this season just feels so weird. No, it's not just you, don't worry. Melanie, what I found fucked, you said effed. I say fucked because I don't care. What I found fucked up was a season 10 reunion. Rue saying to Vixen, oh yes, that's the point. Rue saying to Vixen that she could have just said nothing about Aquaria and Cracker. But in season 11, Rue stirred things up between Silky and Ariel. Yes, she stirred so much shit. That's what she does now. You know, she used to actually give them advice. That's not her role anymore. Her role is to stir the pot. And if you start paying attention to it, every time she does the walks in the workroom, skip that part. Finish the episode and watch it. Once you finish the episode, go back to that part and take closer attention to the kind of advice that she's giving. Don't watch it before, because otherwise you will be sensitized a little bit to it. Just skip that part. Watch the episode and then go back. And tell me if you see something funny going on. Alethea. Oh, you were responding to Chiara. Okay. Sergio, my little dog has the same pattern in her hair. People always called her Cowie in the street. That's really nice. That's really nice. The Lush Whisperer ASMR. I so agree with you on the advertisement. It's too much. Comparative to all the previous season, this season was a mess, production-wise. It seemed like they don't even care that it's so obvious anymore. They never cared. They always joked about it. Let's be honest with it. They always joked about it, or the wink wink and, when Rue used to say, oh, yes, it's from Absolute Vodka, wink wink. And it was fun, it was nice, it was clever, it was whatever it is, and it stopped being that. It's not clever anymore. When you have a mini challenge that's really advertisement, and Queens had to pay so that you could be paid for the advertisement, it's not clever anymore. It's just fucked up. Dixie, I'd love to see a video edited together of your rat baddies with cute subtitles. Dixie, last year's, this will not come out. And they're mice, not rats. But I wanted to make a video with Penny and Bianca years ago, where I would have like this fake interview with Penny and Bianca, like Penetration and Bianca Del Rio, with fake interviews from them from season 6 and season 5 and so on. But then they started having Bianca started to having a little bit of breathing problems. We had some trips to the vet. I abandoned the project. But no, I can show them, it's just marble right now. But don't worry, it's not a mouse channel. It's not a mouse channel yet. But maybe next time I can make a couple videos. I can show marble to you. It's no problem. Margaret McCall, Rue needs to run reruns of his old talk show from the 90s when there is a break between seasons. There is a lot of good materials on those old shows. Rue needs a break from expanding his empire. Damn, you couldn't have said it more right, because she built an empire, not just with Drag Race. She I don't know how much she's worth, but if it was up to me to judge by what I see, I would say, I don't know, 100 millions and 50, probably more. That's, don't forget also World of Wonder. I think they are the one who actually own the trademark RuPaul's Drag Race. So I don't know which kind of agreement they have, but Rue probably gets paid really well. And I think she has a stake in all of this. Why wouldn't she? I mean, she is a savage businessman. She wouldn't have been so stupid to just sign off her right and get a check for it and call it a day. She probably has a stake in everything. RuPaul's Drag Race, Drag Race Las Vegas, Drag Race whatever spin-off comes out, and DragCon, and online shops, and WoW Presents, and so on. If Ru is and has behaved as the savage businessman that he is, then she has a stake on all of that. Alethea, Ru is rich, and rich people work to get richer most of the time. Yes, you know, it doesn't really work to get richer. People that for some reason don't really care about money anymore. They're happy with what they have, and they don't have this thing of money, money, money. More money, more money, more money. I mean, money can make you happy, but only until a certain point. You know, if your problems are, for example, that you can't get an education because you cannot pay, that you cannot get proper medical treatment because you cannot pay, then in that case, yes, money makes happiness, but only until that certain point. After that, it becomes just an addiction. People become addicted to money. They don't want money to do something with them. They just want money for the sake of wanting money. It's like an addiction, like an addiction. Speaking of addiction, I would kill for a cigarette. Kiara, at Lady Baconator, yes, it was a shit show. At that point, I lost all faith I had in RuPaul. She's talking about the season 11, the season 11, was it 11? No, it's season 10 reunion. Alethea, and they all allegedly cut out a lot of supporting reactions of the other queens. I don't doubt that. Dixie, this is marvelous, the whole gal. Good for her. It's time to get another one. Lol, they get a cold when they sleep alone. Hint, hint. Kayo Kamada, I mean, the fracking thing makes me so upset because in my head, when you have so much money and you live a opulent life, it just makes me mad how people are willing to do bad stuff for more money. Well, we don't know about our financial situation, but let's not do this with RuPaul. Let's not do this with RuPaul. I agree with you. I agree with you. She seemingly doesn't need all of that. But you know, she doesn't have children. So why should she care about living a worse place of this world? Alethea, when you're rich, you can avoid the results of your egoism. Alethea, you're too well spoken for me. Unfortunately, my lexicon is still evolving. Margaret McCall, some of the hate for Valentina was from the plus-size queen coming from her. We saw this Ginger Minge and Violet Chachki during season 7. Silky with everyone else in season 11. Eureka against many cast on the season. I won't deny that the fact that that there is a connection with the fact that some queens are on the heavier side. I won't deny that, but I don't think it's really relevant. I don't think it's really relevant. You know, I started actually disliking Eureka when I saw her baiting the vixen. That I didn't like. It felt so calculated, so out of place. So you know. And you can see when you have a person like the vixen. I don't know how it is with you guys. Okay, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just sensitive like that. But when I see her interact for 5 minutes, I can already see. I can imagine all the things she has gone through to emerge as this person. The last thing that I would ever do, was bait a person like that. I mean, which kind of a person are you? Which kind of a person are you? I can give you the benefit of the doubt if you cannot see. But I mean, some things are so evident. People are not born angry. People are not born like that. Alethea, for the climate change? Well, just buy a house and pay for armed security when the climate refugee flee. Oh my God, Alethea, you went in. Luna Honeymoon, when RuPaul chooses which drag queens to put on the show, do you think they have a role in mind for them? Yes, this is a question I get a lot. Do you think they have a role in mind for them without their knowledge? I get this question a lot. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I cannot say it for sure because I'm not there. Okay. I don't have any connection to it. So you just get my opinion, which is an informed opinion, but still an opinion. Absolutely, yes. Judging by the level of control that they're keeping on the show, from the mini challenges, the main challenges, and the kind of edit that they get, the amount of time they take for editing, and so on, absolutely, yes. They would be completely insane if they didn't. I see no sign that they actually don't do it. I see all signs of the opposite. Yes, they cast people with already a role in mind. But then think about it, for example. How can you make a villain from someone who's really sweet? You have to cast somebody who is outspoken, who doesn't really think before speaking, who can easily trigger. That's your villain. And if you want to have a redemption, you actually need to have a sweet queen who is comfortable in speaking about her vulnerabilities and so on. Yes, everybody fit a role and everybody is cast to fit that role. Margaret McCall. No ever calls out the plus size queen about their bullshit. Delta got a pass against Shangela and Stacy. Eureka stole Darien Lake line and called herself the Elephant Queen when that was Darien's lake. Margaret, you see what the problem is. You are touching upon a huge mess. So without getting too much into it, let's say it like this. We are living in a culture in which the fact, and this is my opinion, the fact that people do not really know how to relate honestly to different kind of minorities is basically translating as, oh, you are part of a minority, then you get discounts on many things. That is my opinion. You know, they don't know, for example, people who are racist for some reason. Or are simply, you know, that for some reason they come from a place where people are all the same color and all the same race, and they don't know how to relate to this. And so what they do is try to say, okay, I will give you more space. I will allow you to do more things, because in a way I cannot relate to that. I don't know how to react to it. I'm afraid of overreacting to it and being called fat shaming, trans shaming, or a racist or a misogynist and so on. So they tend to give minorities more I don't know, more way. You know what I mean? And a lot of people just abuse that, which helps nobody really. But this is what I see happening. Alethea, money helps pretending to be a part of society, but of the old rich white people won't accept Rue unless he buys himself a place. Yeah, somebody said once that RuPaul's was the whitest black man in America. And I'll let you think about that. Kaio Kamada, at this point I really don't care who wins, because nowadays being the winner doesn't matter anymore, because race only starts after the show. Yes, it's all a social media race at this point. How much you can promote yourself, how much you can stay relevant, how much you're able to collaborate with other queens, that's all it is about. It's not about winning anymore. Being on the show and doing good on the show can really give you a head start. But then it's what you really do with it afterwards that makes a difference. Chiara says, yes, many of the most liked queens weren't winners. Alethea, money makes life easy. Luna Honeymoon, I'll smoke one for you. Oh, you bitch. You bitch. Don't tell me. Think it. But don't tell me. You know, I would love so much. I would love it so much. Sometimes I find myself thinking, well, I did good. I can reward myself. And then I remember that's how it starts all over again. from 0. You lose everything. You smoke one, you lose everything. You know what the problem is? That I have my electronic cigarette here and I'm not vaping it. And I've been talking for almost 3 hours and I vaped it once. So, you know, the nicotine in the electronic cigarette helps, actually helps. It doesn't take off the addiction, but it makes it not bite so hard, let's say it like this. So, of course, it's, you know. Kaio Kamada, I mean, no one talks about Bibi anymore. Tyra quit drag. Rasha as fashion photo review. Sharon has faded to the background. Jinx is doing her thing. Bianca is very famous still. Well, that is also a difficult topic. The topic of relevancy is a difficult topic. It's not just difficult to discuss, but it's also very difficult to quantify it. How do you really quantify how much someone is relevant? What do? You count the number of gigs they have, how much money they get, or how much they are mentioned on social media, or how many followers they have. It's really difficult to quantify relevancy. That's why I try to touch as little as possible to that, because to me, queens look relevant if I follow them. If I follow them, they look relevant because everybody is doing something. And if I follow them, I see that they are doing something. But unless they're doing something massive, something huge, you will probably, if you don't follow them, you will probably don't even know that they're doing something. You know, that reminds me of the read that Kennedy Davenport gave to Ben de la Creme when she said, "Where you been? Where you been?" Because I thought the same, because I don't follow her. You know, so I have no idea what she did. For me, she faded into obscurity. But for someone who followed her, maybe you would have found out that she had many gigs in different theater, that she was touring the world, that she did. I don't know. I don't know. If you don't follow, you don't know. That's what makes it tricky in a way. Alithia, you want to get something? Well, get someone to buy it for you, or even have a pilot to get everywhere. I don't know what you mean. Alithia, you don't ever need self-control. You can buy anything. You don't have to plan. You don't have to. Oh, you're talking about money. You don't have to improve. You can do it. You just pay someone else. Yes, of course. Once you remove the need, you also remove the drive. Dixie, something I'm curious about is how much the queens make on drag race tours. Are they considered a part of their commitment? No. From the contract from season 8, then it's not part of their commitment. What they define as part of their commitment is called additional performances. Okay, and this usually refers to YouTube shows or appearances in other projects carried on by World of Wonder, but they're always counted like episodes. Okay, so if you're scheduled to do, let's say, 6 more project appearances, and that means 6 videos on YouTube. When you have this kind of tours, they have like 20, 30, 40 days. It's so long. No, absolutely not. But if in the contract is and in the whole contract it was stated like this, that World of Wonder has the, if I remember correctly, they have the right to be consulted first when it comes to managing the queens. So if they want to have a project to carry on, like for example a tour, they have to go to World of Wonder and discuss it with them, and of course pay them a managing fee. If I remember correctly, because it's been that section I read it last year. That was not the interesting part for the videos that I made. So I don't know. I have to review it. Luna Honeymoon. I'm feeling brainwashed. They seem to point us to the ones that they want us to like. They seem... I know. But don't get dispassionate with this show. There is still so much to enjoy. But yes, it's kind of like that. Alethea, want a dress? Pay for it. Want a hair? Just pay. I want a cigarette, and I can pay for it, but I cannot have it. Kayo Kamada. Then Violet has been kinda quiet. Bobby's doing good. Sasha really is iconic for the rose petals, and that is it. Aquaria has also been quiet. Evie is great, but also not the most famous from her season. Dixie, something that RuPaul is doing, and almost make her sound senile. Is this out of the blue filthy comments that she makes? For example, asking Gigi's robot if it can take the big black cock. Well, that's something that I noticed in this season. It looks like one of the critics that I had since season 9 is what the and not just me, it's almost everybody else that's saying this thing, that we lost the queerness of the show, and it looks like they're overcompensating with this kind of things, which sometimes are completely out. They're completely out of the way. You know what is queer? When you rewatch Dragometry and you realize that the pit crew is playing the piano with their bulge. That is queer. Okay? Saying things like that, that's not really queer. That's unfriendly. Let's say it like this. It's not like you cannot say cock or big black cock. You can say that, but there is way and way of making it fun, you know. Yannick Garber, were there ever a situation on the show where you felt like the edit was really jarring and didn't fit the person at all? Like a villain or a hero that just really didn't work and felt forced? That's a good question. I can tell you the first thing that comes to my mind, which I don't know if it's necessarily the best example of it, but it was Violet. Violet in season 7 was really that bitch. It's not that I didn't like her for it. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. When she came out after the first episode saying Michelle was full of shit, her critiques were full of shit, I was living for it. But she was given a kind of a sweetheart hero headed. You know, everybody was talking about how much she matured on the show and so on and so on. They filmed for 1 month. I mean, I get that you have to sell me the fact that it's not 1 month. It's like every challenge is after 1 week and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But they film for a month. You know, if you are that kind of person that says that thing about Michelle's critique, you don't grow into a sweetheart in a matter of 3 weeks. You just don't do that. That I felt really strange. Felt really strange to me. But then again, season 7 was such a strange season in its own right. I hated it. I hated it when it came out, and over time, I realized it's really fun to watch. Actually, I mean, when you look at things like season 12 or season 11 and look back at season 7 and think, my God, season 7 was so good. It was so batshit crazy. So yes, Violet is the first one that comes to mind, but I'm sure that there are much better examples. Some I will not discuss because they are because I have a bias. And I don't want to impose my bias when you think that I'm being objective. Okay, so I have a couple of things that I can think that I have in mind, but I'm biased toward them, so I will not mention it. But yes, objectively, the first one that I can think about is Violet. Think about it. They had all these confessionals saying, "Oh, Violet has matured so much. Violet has changed so much. Violet, no, she is not. You know, she is not. That's also why we like her. But you know, she's not a sweetheart." Alethea, well, the Black Republicans dare to differ. Damn. Kayo Kamada, also the thing about coming in the chest and not in the hair. I mean, it's oh my god, yes, that was so vulgar. That was too much, you know. That was too much. You don't need to go that far. But you know, it looks like she's resorting to the least common denominator. Kiara, I think people don't know where is the line between being aware and sensitive about minorities and being oversensitive. Yeah, we also live in a shaming culture. And you know, shaming knows no boundaries. We shame people for the way they look, and we also shame people from the way they act about how other people look. Kaio Kamada, I mean, we just need to end capitalism. No, we don't. But we need to transform. We need to transform. We reach a point of evolution as humans in which we cannot live in a fully capitalistic society. Not anymore. We have to mix it up, you know. Eventually, we will reach a point in which everything will be so automated that we will not really need people to work anymore. We already don't need people to work anymore for food. Think about it. When you have 0.0001% of the population actually working into creating food for everybody else, do you really need to have people working? Do you really need to pay for food? Problem is we don't have a culture to do that. You tell people they don't have to pay for food anymore, and they start trashing a lot of it. But you know, when I look far, far in the future, that's the kind of future I see. You know, people free. They don't need to work for making money anymore. They work for pleasure. Pleasure of doing what you like and becoming the best you can at it without having to stick to the fact that you need a paycheck to continue living. Chiara, I believe Bendel Creme has her own theater on Seattle, but I might be wrong. Damn, she has her own theater? Fuck. Luna Honeymoon. I live in the same place India Farah is from, who is from season 3, and apparently gonna be on the new All Stars. She wasn't perceived very well then. I'm curious how she will be perceived this time. Well, I can tell from the both of us, we were never gagged over India. And if you watch the introduction, what was it? A Meet the Queen? I don't remember. But she comes out and says, "I am famous for being picked up by Mimiam first." And the first thing that I'm thinking is, yes, you are. Lady Baconator, what hero edit on this show did you find to be the weirdest? Huh. That is strange, because proper hero edits, we didn't have many. We had Sharon in season 4, who had this underdog/hero edit, which fit pretty well. It was done really well, actually. Then we had Bianca in season 6. Then we had a little bit with Shay, but it was not, I wouldn't call that a hero edit. And we have Gigi. I think, I know it sounds like an easy answer, but if we're talking about which one I felt as the weirdest one, is Gigi, because the hero edit is a completely outdated way of making edits for reality TV. It's something that would fly 20 years ago, not now. It's just outdated. You don't do that anymore. You just don't do that. You are trying to convince that what people see is real. You are trying to make them form a connection with people that need to be portrayed as humans, you know? And hero edits cannot serve those purpose. Those are relics of a time in which reality TV was still trying to find out what it was. So yes, to see something like that in 2020 with Gigi Good is really weird to me. The weirdest one. Alicia, Della as shows with Jinx. Oh yes, she does. She made a Christmas special with Jinx. Diogo, The only hero idea I like was Asia O'Hara, because I feel that was real about Asia helping the Vixen. Well, I also wouldn't call Asia's a real hero-headed, but that is my opinion. But let's give it a definition. You know, what makes a hero-headed a hero-headed? Well, nothing wrong about you is portrayed. First, other people are pushed down in order to make you look good by contrast. That's the second. Then you have to have favoritism toward you. That's another thing. Then you should be pitted in some way against the villain. That's another component of it. And you should be portrayed as positively as possible, which means you have zero kind of controversy going on with you. And even though you don't have exactly all these 5 points with Gigi, you basically have almost all of them. And I didn't really see them with Asia. I cannot think of instances, for example, in which I can say those queens were pushed down in order to make her look bad by contrast. And I also saw a kind of evolution coming from her. She fits more the kind of edit that I define as the professional. You know, think about Chad. Chad Michaels from season 4. She is the professional. And Brooklyn Heights was the professional. Asia O'Hara was the professional. And who else? Well, I'm sorry, I'm tired. But you have many examples of this storyline, and I think Asia reflects more the storyline of the professional, not really of the hero. Diogo, the Vixen and Darien Lake were the weirdest villain, like NHA. What's NHA? I don't know. Like the Miss Fan favorite, and bam, bitch, you're the villain. I didn't get it, I'm sorry. Chiara, I love Asia. I still love her. I think the butterflies really were a bad idea. And she has been overpunished because of it. Yes, it was an awful idea. But you know after that happened, like the day after that aired, or maybe the same day it aired, she came out and said, "Listen, I fucked this up. I'm volunteering for 2 months into a facility that deals with, I don't know which kind of animals they were. If they were butterflies or they were everything else, she volunteered for like 2 months. You know, that's being a professional. You know, you fucked up, you come out and say, yes, I fucked it up. This is how I am trying to make up for it. That's sign of a professional queen, of a professional person. Margaret McCall. They could do a special with the 12 queens who won the crown. They can bring back Santino Rice, Shake the Dice. And Merle Ginsberg as judges. They need to do a separate show with all the stars winner. Well, Margaret, let's be honest. If you survive Drag Race and get a good career out of it, would you get back to it and risk it all again? I don't think they can afford to pay all the past winners to do something like that. They could afford it, for example, if they would, for example, sign away editing rights and make the queen actually have a saying in the way they appear. But I don't think they would never do it. I don't think they would do it. Not like a season, for example, you know, or even a mini special of 3-4 episodes. They wouldn't do it. What they would do it? Why would queens like Jinx Monsoon or Bianca Del Rio risk appearing like total douchebags just because they wanted to make some drama? They will not do it, and they will never give up that kind of control on their image anymore. Not after you worked so hard for it. I don't think it will ever happen. Not under World of Wonder, at least. Maybe called something else and organized by somebody else with different contract, yes. Like this, no. Chiara, I never liked Santino. He was such an asshole. But I liked Merle. Yes, I liked Merle too. Dixie, I just watched Violet on Out TV, and it was scenes from the work tour. That girl is a stone cold bitch on a good day. That's Violet. Lady Baconator, I can understand picking Gigi. Yannick Garber, what I like about your channel is that you break things down further than most. People often discuss who should have won based on track records, but don't take into account how contrived it is. Yes, we're trying to make an effort to actually kind of outline this kind of things, you know, help people consume the show in an healthier way. Because the reality is that if we continue treating queens this way on social media, at some point we won't have any more queens actually coming out there and doing this kind of shows anymore. Not at this level, not in the way we were used to. I think already a lot of queens are actually discouraged from ever applying. I'm a huge Sherry Vine fans, and at the times I was actually, you know, rooting for the idea of seeing her on Drag Race, but I don't think she would ever audition to something like that. Queens like her would never audition. Because of where at the level that we got. So, you know, raising awareness about the fact that it's edited, about the fact that characters are built up, about the fact that a lot of things are fake. I know it destroys the illusion on one hand, it destroys the illusion, and I get it, but you can also grow out of the illusion and still enjoy the show in a way, you know. Luna Honeymoon. Believe me, I know what you mean about India Farah. I wanted to go through my TV at Dive and slap her silly. My guess is that she's filler, first one to go home probably. I think the same. I'm sorry to India, but I think the same. Yannick Garber, I loved Asia. Felt she was really funny and talented, but got almost no storyline and wasn't highlighted the way she deserved. Yes, I have to agree to that. She was in the top, and it felt like she really didn't have a storyline, which left this aftertaste of no evolution, nothing going on, nothing interesting going on, like flatlining. You know, flatlining on a high level, but still flatlining. That's, you know, we feel that way because of exactly the kind of edit she received. That's a feeling that comes from the editing. Amateur season, I'm back. Oh yes, you're in the U.S. It's still afternoon there. It's 2 in the morning here. Kaio Kamada, Aja was the obligatory professional black queen on season 10. Yes. Oh my god. Yes. I'm really proud of you for saying that. That might seem rude, but you hit the nail on the head. Chiara, I love these lives because we get to really dissect the series we're all obsessed about, and people here are really respectful of everyone's opinion, and we can share theories. Yes, I like it too. You know, in the beginning when I started doing these streams, I was kind of like, yeah, maybe people don't care about it, maybe it's too strange, maybe it's but you know, it doesn't have to have wide appeal. It doesn't have to. As long as we're having fun and we're getting something out of it, then it's good. Amateur season, did I miss anything important? I don't know, because half my brain is sleeping, so I cannot remember what I said 10 minutes ago, much less last hour. Diogo Moreo, like the Vixen, don't like Eureka and Aquaria and shady attitude, and get the villain added. Just like Darian, because she doesn't like Bandala. I'm sorry, I cannot connect to that. Jade Vasilev. Santino and the Skull Cup annoyed my boyfriend so much, and for that he has my respects. Chiara, I love Professional Queens so much. I'm here for the drama, but this has become ridiculous. Yeah, Chiara, you know what? In a weird way, I like a little bit of drama as well in the show. You know, it puts a little bit of spice, but it has to come organically. It has to come organically, and it also has to come without such hard consequences. You know, why? Well, because drama is part of life. It's part of any kind of interaction between humans. So having no drama at all, for example, doesn't feel realistic to me. So I do appreciate it. But you know, it looks like the show is reaching out so much in order to have it, and nobody wants to be in the midst of the drama, because you will be exploited to be a villain if you do. So yeah, it's kind of strange. Where are we? Alicia, I listened to Race Chasers. There was something with the guy from season 1. The guy from season 1? Yogo, I want Janet the Planet and Leslie Jones as fixed judge. Oh my god. Janet the Planet. What a woman. Amateur season. Is it just me who want Dusty to return for an All-Stars? Well, Dusty, we didn't really get to know anything about Dusty, and I didn't really, for some reason, I didn't check him out. I didn't notice anything that interested me in a way that I would say, okay, let me follow this person, let me see what he does, and so on. But I don't think you're alone. I mean, there are so many fans today that I'm pretty sure that you can find a niche where, yeah, a lot of people would love to see Dusty returning. I don't think it's a mainstream opinion. That's, you know, everybody's like with the big names. Margaret McComb, they don't need to compete. They need to do a one-show event, like a variety show, that they had jokes, acting, and singing, no untucked, just where you know, just where are you? No show with entertainment. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I don't know if you wrote strange or I'm reading strange, but I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Yes, they could do it. They could do a show with old winners. I don't know. You know, I think if they had if they had the monetary incentive to do so, they would have probably done so. But I don't know, think about it. How much do you think Bianca Del Rio would ask to be paid for appearing in one special episode of Drag Race? Let's say like a Christmas special, for example. All Christmas, all winners. Let's say it like that. How much do you think Bianca Del Rio would ask for that? Because if I were Bianca, I wouldn't ask less than 200,000. I mean, you have a career that's worth how much? 10 millions, and you're risking it all on your image for filming this one episode in which you give up the way they edit you. Well, you better pay me for that. No, I don't think it's happening. I would love to, but I don't think it's realistic. Diogo Moreo, Dusty Ray Bottoms is underrated. Kayo Kamada, yes, Dusty was so underrated. She was super talented. Somehow, the only thing that I recall about Dusty was the therapy conversion thing, which actually led me to research it, Google it. Let's call it what it was. And I saw an excellent movie that I cannot recall about conversion therapy, because I googled this thing from Dusty and the dots. That's the only thing I recall. And didn't she add some amazing clapbacks from the reunion when she did the reading challenge? I cannot recall specifically. It must be the time, but she had an incredible clapbacks to them. What was it? What was it? Well, I cannot recall that. Amateur Season says, I would love to see an early out season where queens who didn't make much of an impact return and get a true redemption. Yes, I would love that as well. And I also think it could be practically done, because early outs, they don't have that much, I'm sorry to say it, but they don't have that much to lose as the winners with incredible, amazing careers. You know, usually early outs remain a little bit like, you know, the ones that you might follow them, but you cannot really say that they have a wide stream appear, like Soju, for example. You know, people are like, ooh, you know. So that could be done. That could be done. I don't understand why they haven't done it already, because they have all the queens. They, you know, they can do all the last one. Everybody would be gagged to see Pork Chop again. Or to see, well, Shangela we saw already, but I don't know, to see Magnolia Crawford. Was she the first one to go home, Magnolia, in season 6? Or to see Tempest. You know, God help me, James Mansfield. Yes, it would be great. It would be incredible, but I don't think, you know, they're having so much on their hands already, and they're already fucking it up so badly. So maybe it will happen. Maybe it will happen, but I surely would have preferred that. You know, they did this thing, Celebrity Drag Race. I didn't enjoy it. I know some people gagged over it, but I didn't enjoy it. It looked so. It looked like a fetish. I don't care about celebrity doing drag, or better, celebrity put in drag. I care about people who do that as a job. Diogo says she's a good performer. You're talking about Dusty. She's a good performer, but get killed by Monet. He has a unique style of makeup that 80% of the season 12 cast doesn't have. She's a good actor, but she was on the bad teams. I will translate that in World of Wonders language. We didn't have a storyline for her. Kiara, Dusty is super smart, maybe too smart for her own good on the show. Rue tends to like the cutthroat loud ones best. They are the easiest one to use for stirring the pot. Mature Season said Dusty needs a comeback. Kayo Kamada, queens who have a good career don't need or want to put themselves on the character manipulation machine that Drag Race has become. You couldn't have said it better. Diogo, Asha looks was high drag. Sometimes I prefer runways than Aquarius. My God, don't say it out loud. People are going to kill you. Because what Asha do is drag and high level. Opposed to Aquaria, she's considered like this big fashion queen. Amateur Season, I love Darian Lake. She will always be the original elephant queen. Kayo Kamada, a lot of the black professional queens are pageant queens, and both of those archetypes do not win. Well, we talked about that. It's too late to get into that, but you know what I mean. Alethea, I haven't seen number 1. A Merle is a neutral name. LOL. Dixie, it's a shame there's an enormous population like us that feel the same way we do. The dilemma is, how do we get them there? Did I get it? No, I don't get it. I didn't get it. Okay, let's go quickly through the last comments, and then I need to cut because I'm clearly not fit to go on. If I was a winner, Piero SB. You know that I don't have to go to the meeting tonight, but I will be there at a time, and then I will be there at a time, and then I will be there at a time, and then I will be. Oh, I didn't get it. I'm sorry. Alicia, but I'm a cheerleader. Or the Miseducation of Cameron Post. I think that was the second title. The two is more lighthearted. Piero SB, every Jada stan hating on Gigi just because she's white. And white racist people hating on Jada because she's black. Well, I can see that storyline going on for some reason. I mean, ignorant people, ignorance doesn't know anything about skin colors. You can find them. It's just a human trait. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter your culture. It doesn't matter your skin color. It doesn't matter your sex. It doesn't matter your orientation. Idiots are ubiquitous. Okay. Damn, it's been 3 hours and a half. It's been too long. Well, we had some fun. But I'm really going to sleep now. Okay. When are we talking again? At the end of the month, the 31st, last Sunday of the month. So that the reunion comes out, the last episode comes out, if it comes out, when they crown the new queen, and we'll do everything else. Whatever it is we said before. I'm sorry, I'm too tired. I'm not connecting anymore. Guys, it's been great. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night.